Hey y'all. Ooh. You can definitely see my luggage over here. Whew. Hey y'all. Ooh. I'm on a date with y'all. I'm going out with y'all. So yeah, I am getting I was giving date. I wanted to give sexy librarian date vibes. You know what I'm saying? Are y'all prepared for our date tonight? Smoking hot? Yeah. Am I gonna get lucky at the end of the night? You promise? Yes. Thank you, Sierra. Thank y'all. What y'all got going on? What the fuck going on? What going on tonight? Thank you, Cinnamon Toast. Hey, Holly, Haru, Hot Life Vibe. Yeah. Yeah. You want better, so you did better. Huh? Nothing's going on tonight. Well, come on in. Have a seat. Get comfortable. Get your beverages. I'm just drinking water tonight, but I am zooted off the edible. Hold on. Let me plug my edible, lady. Yeah. These gummies, my candy. Her name is Trippy Treats. You can find her on IG. This is not a sponsored post. I just fuck with her. I'm in Atlanta. ATL. Damn, my nail just broke. Right here. That's crazy. Thank you. You got your drinks. Get your blunts or just some tea, some snacks, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Or just yourself. And come on in the room. Press the thumbs up button. Y'all know how I do. Let me go ahead and let Twitter know what we're doing. Let me let Twitter know. Yeah. That we live right now. Money. Okay, I just posted it to Twitter. You can't be forgetting about us on here. Am I the only one that don't have a Twitter, IG, TikTok? Nah, a lot of people don't have, I mean, I'm going to be real. If I did not have my professional account, I probably wouldn't be on Twitter either, to be honest with you. I do have IG, but I only, once again, as it serves a purpose for like my channel and what I do, like content creation. So if I'm gonna do a celebrity natal chart reading based on what's trending, you know what I'm saying, like events. If it weren't for that, I probably wouldn't have a social media account at all, like any of them. Maybe TikTok. TikTok is the one where I find myself consuming the most content. Just like it don't even have to be astrology related. It could just be shit, like just random shit. Hey Tyrell. Ooh, Puerto Rico. Mm. Yes, I'm gonna be talking about Jupiter through the signs. You could also apply this to the house placements, but just you know, take it as it applies. You have a burner account in your WhatsApp. Mars Pluto aspect. It depends on the type of aspect, because the type of aspects matter. I mean, Mars and Pluto can make you freaky, but for example, Mars squaring Pluto, that could be like a rapist aspect. I'm not saying everybody who has Mars square Pluto is a rapist, but I'm illustrating like the way that the planets uh work together, they matter. You know, you're gonna get a completely different vibe with Mars square Pluto, Mars in opposition to Pluto versus Mars trining Pluto, Mars sextiling Pluto. Completely different vibe. Thank you, Jupiter. Hey, Asia. Am I going to make a Threads account? I've been hearing about it. So, like, what exactly is Threads? What is that? What is that exactly? Ooh, push these back rows up. Titties don't fail me now. What exactly is that? It's like Twitter linked to IG. Instagram version of Twitter. I don't know, y'all. Admittedly, I'm kind of skeptical. I think it would have to make sense. Any app that I jump on, I feel like it would have to make sense in regards to like my business. So, I don't know. In the future where everybody is using it, and I feel like it would be smart marketing wise, then maybe I would do it. Because I'm not gonna be like, hell no. I mean, instinctively, I want to be like, hell no, we got enough apps as it is. What y'all want from us? What y'all want from? I want to say that, but I'm gonna be where the people are. I wanna see some readings. So it just depends. I don't know. Because I said that about TikTok, but now look at me. Look at me, TikTok. Like at the beginning of the panorama, I was like, I'm not gonna get on TikTok. This is ridiculous. How many apps do we need? And I'm on TikTok now. So it just depends. But I will say my initial thought is like how many apps do we need to talk to the same motherfuckers? Like I feel like we are in this information age where it's overload, information overload. And we be talking about the same group of people doing the same shit. So I don't know, guys. If y'all gonna make it poppin', then make it poppin'. What's your edibles? and she ships. So even then, guess what? If you're not in Atlanta, it's A-okay. But she's in Riverdale. Hold on. Let me go. I don't know if this old website is up. Let me see. I should have asked her to send me her stuff before I did this. I know you like that, nigga. Let's see. It's Trippy, T-R-I or T-R-I-P. Trippy Treats. TRIPPYTR or underscore TREATS. TZ. I can't spell, y'all. TRIPPY underscore TREATZ. Trippy Treats. And thank y'all for the super chats and the stickers too. Damn, she and her moon. Damn, she and her moon. Not the moon. Have I always lived in Atlanta, or did I live in other places? So originally, I was like born in St. Louis, East St. Louis, actually, and I moved to Atlanta when I was 8. So I mean, I went to elementary school, A. Phillip Randolph. Y'all know Zone 4, Fulton County. And then I moved to Cobb during middle school. Cobb County is still, it's not the city of Atlanta, but it's like the metro Atlanta area. Then I graduated. Fast forward a couple years, I moved to Houston. I moved to Houston for work. Moved back to Atlanta. And I've been here. I do want to leave Atlanta very soon now. Like, I want to leave again. Living in Houston for like those 2.5 years was so much fun. And I feel like I lived there before everybody and their mama wanted to live in Houston. Between Houston and Atlanta, I feel like it's so many niggas out here. And I understand the appeal to a certain extent, because I understand these are metropolitan areas where you have a lot of Black people, a lot of affluent Black people, successful Black people in one hub. And I, living out here for so long, I kind of took that for granted until I went to other spaces where that wasn't the case. And I'm like, oh, you mean it ain't a bunch of fine niggas and a bunch of fine women, big fine women everywhere you go? Like, I thought that was just how, I thought that was the norm. But I just feel like it's too many people out here. Between the traffic, niggas move, people think moving to Atlanta is finna solve all their life problems. It's not. We full. It's the Atlanta that I grew up in and what Atlanta is now are two completely different things. I do want to leave. I want to leave. I was born in St. Louis. Well, yeah. So I rep St. Louis, nigga, in Atlanta too. I really don't rep St. Louis. Like, if you would have dropped me off, I just came from St. Louis like last week. And it's like, I go because all of my family's down there. I don't have any family in Atlanta. So, my immediate family, and this is actually very fitting since we're talking about Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet that deals with long distance travel. It can deal with international travel, but it can be long distance travel, which is why I have my Sagittarius sun, my South Node in the 9th house of Cancer, which symbolizes my family picking up and moving from St. Louis to, a lot of Cancer 9th house people can be transplant. So in the way that I identify more with Atlanta, like the Atlanta hub, Atlanta culture, than I would St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? I still love like my girl is like Sexy Red. I'm so happy. You know, she from St. Louis. She from the north side. Them some like trenches. I love it though, but that's a trench ass bitch right there. True from the source. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't, if you put me in a room with her, I could relate to her in a certain way, but like culturally, I just, I identify more with like where I've spent most of my life. And that's Atlanta. She would have been 95. Oh, Granny, your maternal Granny's birthday. Happy heavenly birthday. You feeling your Saturn and Pluto. Pisces rising 7 degrees. The trenches. North St. Louis is the trenches. There's no better way for me to describe that. Like the way, and people be getting on her about how she dressed and how she has that. She's such an Aries with her uniform is a stringy bikini top with that big ass sexy red chain and some jeans, that look like they came from City Trends and some boots. She might even put on True Religions, and people don't wear True Religions like that no more, or at least from my understanding. Atlanta was wearing True Religions in like 2008. But you know what? She don't give a fuck, and she gonna wear what she want. It's a gnat, this stupid gnat flying around. She's going to wear what she wants to wear, and that's very Aries. Like, bitch, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. But it's actually a lot of people in St. Louis who dress like that. Like St. Louis is very country. It's Midwest, but it's very country. They're not really known for, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying well-dressed women don't live in St. Louis, but I'm just saying like as a collective unit cohesively, it's a lot of people who like dress like that. Like she's, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't have that Hollywood polish, that IG model aesthetic, because that's not what bitches is walking around there looking like. It's not a Atlanta. It's not a Houston. It's not a Cali. It's not a New York. St. Louis is St. Louis. Country, I mean, it just depends on what words you want to use. Country, to me, country is tacky. Everywhere that I go that's deemed real country, they be in the tacky stuff. Like I think of plaid, like multicolored plaid outfits, or it's hella like folks down south or towns down south where it's like you look at what people got on and that shit is country, and it is kind of tacky. Like I went to college in Valdosta, Georgia, so it's like South Georgia. It's almost like it's like 30 minutes outside of Jacksonville, or excuse me, 30 minutes outside of Florida, the Florida state line, closer to Tallahassee, not Jacksonville. But the point that I'm making is going to school down there, being from Atlanta, we were like celebrities. We were superstars. Okay. The standard, especially when it came to dressing, putting that shit on, looking a certain type of way, the standard was very high. When we got to the town and started looking at the locals, they were given jabots. They were given felines. They were given very much multicolored plaid. They were given very much. It was like I got in a time capsule and rolled back to like 2005. They don't, they just, and so when they would look at us, all the Atlanta students and Metro Atlanta students, we felt like superstars. All the little country niggas was in our face like, hey, little mama, let me holler. You just like, I'm a baddie. Yeah. I put that shit on. But then when I look back, like we all kind of looked a mess. Because that was like the business casual era. Y'all remember that? My millennials. So I said all that to say it's all very subjective if we talk about like what's country versus what's not, who, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, to me, places that are not really big city hubs. You know what I'm saying? That's where you share culture. That's where you share fashion. That's where people catch on to the latest trends. By the time you get to like these kind of isolated cities and shit, or small towns or whatever, they be out the loop. That's why them niggas be looking like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So in Sexy Red neck of the woods, she the baddest bitch out the leather. I still think she's a badass bitch, honestly. And I do think to a certain extent, she just wears what she want to wear because she's comfortable in her own skin. You know what I'm saying? But of course, if you're comparing her to IG models and women, like I said, from New York and this and that, and Miami, and that's just not, it's not the same cultural vibe. Like, it's just not the same. They're not polished. They some raw ass, trench ass bitches. Any bitch who want to fight you and she wearing Jabot jeans in 2023, bitch, I need you to cut your losses and walk away. Pack that shit up, because she ain't playing. When she say ski, I'm like, girl, I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems. I believe you. I believe you. She stand on business. Big business. That's my song too. Bitch and an ant got a stupid butt ski. Hey, I'ma have them stuck. That's my song. She said, when I say ski, that means pull up. I told y'all St. Louis is where I got jumped. Them like, it's when my first fight where I got jumped by nothing but grown ass. Well, they weren't grown. They were like older than me. Women, basically damn near women, and they brother on her side of town. She means everything she's saying. She means everything she's saying. Them bitches, she means everything she say. Exactly what she looked like, that's what it is. But I love her though. Shout out to Sexy Red. Love you, girl. Yes, I got jumped. It builds character. It wasn't fun, but it builds character. I was maybe 11 years old, 11. I didn't look 11. I was one of those girls that developed kind of quickly. Me and my cousin, two of my cousins, my cousin Keita, and then my other her sister, her older sister was like 13. So me and my favorite cousin was like 11 or 12, and then her older sister was like 13, 14, and then the girls that jumped us was like 17. That ain't that crazy. We was like middle schoolers getting pressed by like a bitch like who got to go to prom in a couple weeks because like they was mad at the material. They was like, you think you G'd up? You think you G'd up? You think you G'd up? And honestly, I'm talking, but I don't think it was my fight. It wasn't my fight. I know it wasn't my fight, not initially. But I think it was just it was like, bitches be hating. That's the best way to put it. I know it sounds crazy, but bitches be hating. And they don't look at you like, oh, how old you are, da 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 da. And I think one of the girls had knew my cousin, my big cousin, anyway. So whatever the fuck that was about, you know what I'm saying? So it just, girl, I was 11. I was a middle schooler, dead ass, like watching Lizzie McGuire, walking around, just following my cousins. I don't even remember what I did exactly. I do remember that weekend, it was like different niggas trying to talk to us. And like I said, to a certain extent, because I know the little sister, one of the girls who was jumping us knew my cousin. So I think it was like a bleed over of whatever the fuck that was about. I don't know. But then, you know how that politics shit go, like, especially because I'm newer. I was new in the neighborhood. They weren't used to seeing me because I was in Atlanta at this time. So I would come during the summer. Like, who, she thinks she G'd up. She thinks she G'd. I just remember somebody saying G'd up. Like, oh, you think you G'd up? You think you G'd up? Well, look at the material. But yeah, the fight didn't start off with me. It wasn't my fight initially, but it'd be like that. I said all that to say that happened. I think we was on the north side, St. Louis. Sexy red means everything, she says. Busted and wasted. You want to read the natal charts of the girl who beat me up? Y'all, and guess what? I peed on myself. I was pissy. Them hoes whooped my ass till I pissed. But I was 11. Like, I was dead ass, like, just got out of elementary school fighting big grown ass bitches. And they brother jumped in. It was so embarrassing, y'all. It was embarrassing. I'm not too proud to like speak my L's. You know what I'm saying? Now, as a grown ass woman, circa 2023, I'm proud to say nobody beat my ass ever since. But that was my first fight. It was my first everything. Because up until then, I think I was living in La La Land. I didn't really understand that, like, you really could get the dog shit beat out of you. I never really understood that the world operated that way at 11 years old. At 11 years old. Where was my peoples? They was getting the shit beat out of their ass too. They was with me. We got beat up. All of us together. My oldest cousin she had cornrows. The girl pulled the cornrows like from the back of her head. Like, she pulled her in comparison, I didn't really get it that bad. She pulled my cousin cornrows like she detached the damn cornrow from the scalp. Left that motherfucker looking boneless. I said, damn. My other cousin got her lip busted, wide open. And by the time, the only thing that stopped it, because like I said, they brothers was jumping in. It was niggas. Niggas jumping in, kicking us, all that shit. Like, when I tell you they packed our shit out, they packed our shit out. And then the only reason that it stopped was because it was some basketball players who came, because it was in like this empty, like this vacant lot next to a park. And the niggas who was hooping at the park came down, broke it up. And then we just like limped home and shit. And then when we got to my cousin's house, when we got to my cousin's house, her mama was sitting on the couch. And we came in the door, and her mama was like, what the fuck? Like, her mama turned up. She went and grabbed a knife, ran down the street. Like, who the fuck did that? And like her boyfriend was trying to like, baby, calm down, baby, calm down, baby, calm down. We finna find them bitches. I want my motherfucking wife. What the fuck you did to my motherfucking cousin? My motherfucking children. And she was so mad. It was a whole situation. And my mama is like very Claire Huxtable. You know what I'm saying? She's from the hood, but she's very Claire Huxtable. Because she's a Capricorn. So, and a Libra South Node. Y'all know Libras are very polished. So she's kind of like Monique, the comedian Monique, in the sense that, you know, Monique is a Libra South Node, and she's always raving about women wearing bonnets and respectability. And like, my mama got that same kind of energy. So she was just like, I should have known. I just should have never let you spend the night over there. So much riffraff. It was, oh my God. Like, I just should have known. I should have known. Oh, good times. Good times. Remember when you made your video on the most ratchet zodiac signs? Which ones are the least ratchet and why? Taurus, Capricorn, and Libra. I think that's actually a really good selection. Taurus, of course, because I would say Taurus and Libra because of that Venus rulership. You know, they don't like anything that's too out the way or like unpleasant. You know, they have that respectability. that socially presentable kind of modality, or not modality, but like presence, right? Unless they have other things in the chart that counteract that, especially Libras, people with a lot of Libra influence. Even though I have a lot of Libra energy, my ascendant is squaring Uranus. Like, so it's like I have it and I can see it. I can relate a little bit, but I'm still going to take a sharp left and do what the fuck I want to do anyway in certain situations. Yeah, I would say Venus, Taurus, Libra, Capricorn, I do agree with that analysis because Capricorn cares a lot about image or reputation, so to speak. Maybe Virgo, but I'm not gonna say. It depends on the type of Virgo, because one archetype of Virgo could be concerned with etiquette. All of that is very sixth house, like concerned with etiquette and just like, just that being hyper aware, being like put together, and your ability to kind of integrate with whatever's around you. But if they're not mentally, because of that Mercury influence, if something's kind of off with them, they're going to be out of fucking control. I always refer to like Mama D, what's her name? What's her name? Sky from Love and Hip Hop. Ain't that her name? Sky, the crazy one. So I don't know. It just depends. It's hit or miss with Virgos. If something's off mentally, they are just as wild and crazy and twisted and like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It just depends on like the person. Scorpio can be very ratchet. That's only because, of course, Scorpio dealing with taboo, but you also have to understand Scorpio is the opposing sign to Taurus. If Taurus deals with like standards, that kind of sense of like ideal expectations, Scorpio is like void of all that. Scorpio could be stank. It could be like gutter is the best way to describe it. Thank you, Lilo. Your dad is a Taurus. He's big on his image. How them has look. I don't know I haven't seen them girls ever since, girl. I don't know what the fuck them hoes look like. What they doing, what they up to. He want better, so he did better. I would say I'm not gonna put Pisces as one of the most ratchet. Pisces not necessarily, but because Pisces is mutable, they can kind of adapt to whatever's going on. But I wouldn't put Pisces at the top of the list. I would, in terms of one of the most ratchet signs of the zodiac, Aries for sure. And this is not to say that every person with this sign is going to be ratchet, but if you are just of the ratchet persuasion, if you have these signs, it's probably more noticeable. So Aries, and that's because Aries it can be crude. Aries is the opposing sign to Libra, so it lacks tact. So that same kind of agreeability that Libra has, Aries doesn't have that. Being refined and polished and, making sure I present in a very agreeable, socially acceptable kind of way. And I want to be likable and all the things that like Libra kind of gains their identity, roots their identity in and their awareness in. Aries is the opposite. Aries could just be crude, just rough around the edges, raunchy, trashy, like I'm here, like very masculine, which is so funny because even when it comes to Sexy Red and her being an Aries, she embodies all of the Aries like art. She has like all the Aries woman stereotypes, presenting like a nigga, like she, you could tell that she probably hangs out around a lot of niggas. Very sexual, very in your face, raw, uncut. My coochie pink, my booty hole brown. That's a very just like, if she went to charm school, Monique would be like, is this who we are? Is this what we do? Your coochie is pink and your booty hole is brown? Really? Is this what we've become? But Aries is like, I don't give a fuck. That's like, no matter how many people talk about her, how ratchet she is, and oh my God, she's this, she don't give a fuck. She's gonna be who she is until she's ready to change. You know what I'm saying? Her obsession with guns, so Aries, like living on the wild side, living dangerously, just being off the chain. All that is, if you a ratchet Aries, you are in for one hell of a ride. Or if you know a ratchet Aries, you in for, bitch probably be fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is. Aquarius is another one of those signs. If they're ratchet, they're very shameless. Aquarius is all about exhibition, being just letting it all hang out. And very, they can engage in very shocking behavior. And I always refer to like your Meg Thee Stallions, your Carishas, they just, once again, it just is what it is with them. Oh, I'm a twerk in public. I'm a and a lot of other people who don't really resonate with that energy may be kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that's why Aquarius squares Taurus, And then Gemini. Gemini can be very, I'm thinking about a couple female Geminis. And like the ratchet ones. They're loud. They're real loud. They probably be the loudest ones. The ratchet Geminis be the I think about Shakana from Love and Hip Hop. Like that's a ratchet Gemini. Like you can't mistake that. Like they're very obnoxious. The loudest, the just like a flexible morals, or they just all over the place. All over the place. So my dream team of ratchetry would be an Aries, a Gemini, and an Aquarius, all together in the same room, and just let them fight it out to the death and see who wins. Those are probably the three most ratchet signs. Not to say other people can't be ratchet for other reasons and blah, 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 blah. But if we're talking about archetypically speaking, that's what it is. Okay. So I've taken long enough. Damn. How long I've been on here? 38 minutes. And I'm just now finna get to the subject of the live. Y'all know I do this all the time. But I'll leave this video up so there will be time stamps. There'll be time stamps. So let's go ahead and get started. So Jupiter, well, this all started because I posted a picture of myself in the community feed, right? And I did it on Twitter too. I was posting my lower body, and I'm very bottom heavy. Aside from me being a Sag sun, I do have Sun square in Jupiter. My moon is conjoined to Jupiter. And then I have that 9th house south node. So I was just explaining the effects, Jupiter's effects on the physical body. Jupiter is a planet that enlarges or elongates whatever it touches. Making it not very uncommon for a lot of Jupiterian people. Like if you have Jupiter aspecting very personal placements, like I just mentioned, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Sag on the Ascendant, whatever, it could make you big. I mean, it can make you fat, but it could also give you a big old booty. Sagittarius is symbolized by the centaur, to have man, to have horse. So a lot of Sagittarians and people with that Jupiter energy, especially the women, could be stallions. And so I was just showing y'all that I was, a motherfucking Clydesdale. That, I'm no different. This booty be boot, 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 boot. And it's so interesting, like being like a bottom heavy girl, because, it wasn't always cool to have booty. This is, before the BBL, it wasn't always cool to have booty. And a lot of the issues and the complaints that a lot of the BBL girls are just now realizing, us Jupiterian, naturally juicy women, we been knew that. Like how having a big butt and big thighs gets you sexualized. Like I said, I just got done telling y'all, bitches was jealous of me at 11. You know what I'm saying? Probably because they 16, 17, 18-year-old boyfriend looking at my booty. Not my problem, not my fault. At 9 years old, I had a camp counselor, a 16-year-old and woman, or girl, I should say girl, but she was older than me. Camp counselor asked me like, "Oh, you be getting all the boys, huh? They be da-da-da." And I was like, "Bitch, I'm 9. Like, what are you talking about?" Like, she was making like adult jokes and insinuating certain stuff about my body parts and niggas. Like I was supposed to be like, so, you can becoming or appearing overdeveloped, having that Jupiter influence on the physical body does have its drawbacks. But as I've gotten older and like now it's in style, and I use my privilege and you just do what you want with it. But yes, yeah, so that's kind of what led to me getting the idea to do a Jupiter live stream, because as I posted the picture in the comment section, especially on Twitter, a lot of people got to asking like, "Oh, okay, well, how does Jupiter manifest in this sign? What about 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 this sign?" And I said, fuck it. Is this what y'all want from me? Is this what you want? Do you really want it? Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go and get it. Sag son, your hips and thighs are crazy. When I tell you Sages, we are really built like horses, like at the bottom. Now, I have seen some Sag women who just have long legs. Like they just have that, they may not be super thick, but they have that long leg aesthetic. Hey, Tales of Dre. Legs and hips and body. Woo! Let's get them, boys. Yeah, or like a Sagittarius, even if they're kind of small when they get older, like they let themselves go, they can get really big. Shit, I would know. I done gained hella weight over the years. But another example would be Trina. Now, Trina, she's another one, Sagittarius, and she's one of the natural, the OG big booty, big thigh girlies, like the Sag, like she's stacked like a Sagittarius woman. But the older she's gotten, and I'm not body shaming, but it was a lot of conversation about like her body during the BET Awards and stuff like that. And I don't think she looked bad. Honestly, she looked about the same. She looked like a regular person, like somebody regular auntie, honestly. And still cute. But you know what I mean? By societal standards, in accordance to what people have been used to seeing from her, she looked bigger. She looked huskier. She looked fatter. And everybody was like, whatever. But that's also very Sagittarius. Obviously, we don't know what health issues, medical issues. We don't know the backdrop of the backdrop. But just at face value, that could be very Sagittarius, to put on a lot of weight like that. Especially because Sagittarians can live a lot, or people with Jupiter, since we're talking about Jupiter, who have that Jupiter influence, once again, specifically if it's aspecting like personal planets or something like that, can have that very like indulgent nature. So, doing things in excess, eating, drinking, whatever. That's why Sagittarius season happens like around Thanksgiving, So I always kind of liken Sagittarius and that Sagittarian energy to Thanksgiving. Because what you do during Thanksgiving, you sit around and you get multiple plates and you drink a lot and you have fun, you slap five with your cousin them, and you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of energy. Sagittarius have that all the time. Especially with my South Node in the ninth house too. I just be so greedy and hungry and just, or it be hard to feel full sometimes, so you just keep eating. Not cool. Oh shit. But yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with Jupiter in the first house. Now, let me go ahead and put out this disclaimer. Once again, this is going to vary. So if you have Jupiter in the first house, this could be applicable to Jupiter in Aries as well. You know what I'm saying? Take it as it applies. Other factors will matter. So if you have Jupiter in the first house, but it's in a different sign, an aspect in another planet, you know what I'm saying? You just take it as it applies, right? So yeah, Jupiter in the first house or Jupiter in Aries, a lot of times can bring a big ass head, big ass forehead. Okay. I always use Rihanna. She's a great example of that. This girl got a noggin. She got a cranium on her. But it could also create like you could just tell when you're dealing with somebody with Jupiter in the first house or Jupiter in Aries, specifically if it's aspecting a personal planet, because they have that either they have a really big head overall, or they have like a really big forehead that just kind of protrudes. So there's that. Jupiter in the second, and also like a big nose. Sometimes big noses, Aries rules the nose. Jupiter in the second house, you can have a really big neck. I do see a lot of people who, especially if you have like thyroid problems, can have, whether it be like bulges in their neck or really wide set necks. It could also, depending on like what it's aspecting to, could also just attribute to like overall weight gain as well. Jupiter in the second house / Taurus, Jupiter in Cancer, and Jupiter in Sagittarius are three placements that almost are guaranteed to put some weight on your body, depending on how they're aspecting and what other points they're hitting within the chart. Just because it's the natural inclination towards, once again, that hyper indulgence and just being greedy and just going overboard and doing too much and whatever. And we're talking physically, how these Jupiter manifestations express themselves physically. Let me say that, because I'll be here forever talking about all the different interpretations. Third house, aka Gemini, Jupiter in Gemini, big eyes, long fingers, big hands, long fingers. For some, it could be long arms. With Jupiter and Gemini / the third house. Jupiter in the fourth house, this could give you a big stomach, a big gut, a pouch, you know what I'm saying? Especially after childbirth. So like specifically in the charts of women, you have kids and stuff like that. No matter what your overall body makeup is, if you have this placement, it could be likely that, maybe your stomach doesn't snap back right away, or maybe you do have like a little excess kangaroo pouch that's hard to get rid of. You know what I mean? That could also produce a very curvy body, big breasts, very top heavy, but because Jupiter also deals with the hips, they could have very rounded, curvy hips, especially men. Men with Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter in the fourth house, those are the men with the bodacious. You ever seen a nigga and it's like, damn, like he thick as hell, like hips wide, booty bigger than mine. He probably got Jupiter in the fourth house, Jupiter, Cancer. Maybe the moon is aspecting his Jupiter or something like that, I'm getting to it, which brings me to Jupiter in the 5th house. Because the 5th house is ruled by Leo and it does deal with the back. If we're talking about a big back, astrologically speaking, that could be Jupiter in the 5th house. That could be Jupiter in Leo. That's a big ass back. And even though technically Leo doesn't rule the shoulders, I've noticed a lot of Jupiter 5th house women or just people in general could still have that stocky build. Leos can kind of be kind of big actually, or like statuesque. But yeah, Jupiter and Leo is definitely, or the 5th house is definitely giving big back. But it could also enlarge your heart. And when I say enlarged heart, obviously every Jupiter, Leo, 5th house person does not have an enlarged heart, but depending on other factors in the chart, like I have seen these people have like heart conditions, you know what I'm saying? Those heart conditions where a person can have an enlarged heart, literally, or metaphorically, right? Metaphorically, but we're talking physical, just for the scope of this video. I didn't say back, I said Bach. A big Bach. Okay, come on, big Bach. Big Bach. So yeah, there's that. Big upper body, very Leo. Jupiter in the 6th house, aka Jupiter in Virgo, could give you long fingers. And so I would counter that because Mercury rules Virgo as well as Gemini. So there's going to be some overlap, although they're not the same by any means. I will say Gemini is more so that overall hand, while Virgo is specifically the finger. So I would say maybe the bigger hand part is more applicable to Gemini, while the longer finger part would be more applicable to Virgo. Long fingers, or they could even have like abnormally elongated digestive systems. So for example, and this may not always just be limited to Jupiter and Virgo. Even I know some Virgo sons, although I can't remember the layout of his chart. So I'm gonna just say take this with a grain of salt. But I have a cousin who's a Virgo, and he actually for like the first half of his life had like a really chronic stomach, like a digestive issue, because his intestines were literally abnormally long, so long that they like basically the shit in your body collects in the lower intestines, which is also very Virgo. And it like was so long that it like didn't form properly, or he wasn't able to eliminate it, which is where we move into like Scorpio, but he wasn't able to like eliminate it because of like the length of his intestines. I get what I'm saying. I'm not a doctor. I don't know the name of the condition. I just remember that because it was like a whole thing. He had to go to the doctor constantly. Very Virgo type of activities. But yeah, so that's just an example of that. So yeah. Jupiter in the 7th house, aka Libra. Once again, we're talking just the physical scope of Jupiter throughout the houses and the signs. I would say maybe a very elongated, like lower back. Also, too, maybe these are people who could have very long or very sizable, what do you call them? And honestly, I don't know if they change in size. I think maybe it's just more sensitive, the inner ear. So I guess it has nothing to do with size, but very sensitive inner ear. Jupiter and Libra actually may be a little bit more difficult in terms of the physicality. But it depends on where it is, though. Because, like, let's say if you have Jupiter and Libra and it's on your ascendant or in the 1st house, that could add to, like, a Coke bottle shape, a Coke bottle frame, and make you more curvy. You know, that can kind of give you that more curvy aesthetic in a way that is more hourglassy, which, shout out, you know. You know, I'm an example. I don't have Jupiter in Libra, but I do have Libra conjoined to Venus on the ascendant. You know, but you know, it can play out like that too. You know, it just depends. But from a physical standpoint, I would say Jupiter and Libra may be the more difficult to detect. Just because the parts of the body that are ruled by Jupiter is not as visible with the naked eye. You get what I'm saying? But I would say, you know, more curvaceous, especially where it's put. And in a way that is more like proportionate. You know what I'm saying? It can make you a lot more proportionate. So even though Jupiter enlarges a person, Libra brings that balance. It makes it, like I said, it makes it proportionate. It makes it make sense. So that's why it's associated with hourglass E type shit. So you know, I mean, that's good. Jupiter in the 8th house / Scorpio, you already know this is giving big cat, big fat pussy. It's giving big dick. Maybe a very what do you call it? A very what's the word, y'all? What's the word I'm looking for? It's just a very well defined private area. Is the word I'm looking for lack of a better way to describe it. So like women, especially in women who could, I mean, or men, but like an example of this would be those women who have clitorises that are really big, that low key look like mini dicks. You know, that could be very Jupiter 8th house, Scorpio 8th house, or excuse me, Jupiter Scorpio vibes. I always use baby as another example. Little baby got Jupiter and Scorpio, and that nigga got a dick the size of a Comcast remote controller. That nigga got a dick like this. I'd be like, oh. With his ugly ass. It always be the ugly ones, too. The ugly ones and the skinny ones with the fucking big fucking horse dicks. Groin. Why? Jupiter, 9th house, aka Jupiter Sagittarius, is kind of just going to reinforce a lot of the, you know, archetypical qualities of Jupiter. Not 911, please. Call him. You want to see it, girl? Go Google it. Little baby, I didn't know that. Go Google it. After this live, though. Don't leave. Hold on now. But after this live stream is over, Google little baby dick print. And it's been like different photos, different shows that he'll do. He'll be standing up skinny. But I'll be like, what's that in his pants? Because it'll be something just protrude. It'll just be the shit trying to stick. It'll just be like hanging out, like you could just see the print in his pants. And it's so disproportionate to his body. Because I'm like, ooh. I kind of see what Jada was, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand. I don't agree, but like I kind of understand. Like I understand a little bit. Jada way to kind of being a little dumb. Cause I probably wouldn't have all my good sense either if my baby daddy dick was that big. You know, I probably wouldn't have good sense like that either. Honestly, at that age, good sense or self-respect, I would like to think I have all of those things, but when the dick looking like that, and if he can work it, because the size is one thing, but and that nigga know how to pound town, I might be a little stupid. I might like double back, see what that dick do, you know what I'm saying? Every now and then. So yeah, there's that. What video? He looked like he belonged, especially. I'm not gonna say what I want to say. He do look kind of off. He do look kind of slow. I ain't gonna say what I want to say because that joke was not gonna go over well. But Jupiter, 10th house, a lot of times, these are people who could have thick teeth, or just really like long teeth, or what you call it there, like your joints, because the 10th house, Capricorn also deals with your joints. It deals with your dental structure. It could even deal with your bone structure. Jupiter in Capricorn, Jupiter in the 10th house could even be high cheekbones. So there's that. Jupiter in the 11th house. Because the 11th house rules the shins and the ankles. I ain't gonna lie, you might have a nasty set of cankles with Jupiter in the 11th house. Who has Jupiter in the 11th? Do you have cankles? Technically, I have Jupiter in the 11th house. I ain't got no cankles, but damn, what if it happened with time? I'm scared. But yeah, that's Jupiter in the 11th house. Cankles are so scary to me because it's like you just got legs and feet. Like, how the fuck you just got legs and feet? It's crazy. Legs and feet is crazy. It's insane. Cankles are not cute. We not doing Sagittarius. I just did Sagittarius in 9th house, or Jupiter in the 9th house. Like I said, it's especially if you have Jupiter in the 9th house or Sagittarius, it just really depends on the planets that it aspects, because it's going to reinforce a lot of those archetypical Jupiter qualities, like, bigness, largeness, longness. So, having a big butt, having big legs, long legs, that kind of thing. Big thighs. Them thighs. Well, yeah, just legs and feet is crazy. It's so scary to me. I have cankles all the time because of my sickle cell. Ooh, Jupiter does, and Sagittarius deals with blood. So sickle cell could be a Sagittarius thing. Where's your Jupiter? And what's going on in your 9th house, by the way? Leslie? You get a cankle pass. But the average cankle, I'm not gonna lie, that shit spooks me out. It creeps me out. No, Sagittarius deals with blood. Aquarius deals with the shins. It deals with the ankles. And then, which brings us to the 12th house, Jupiter in the 12th house. Obviously, the most obvious interpretation could be big feet. It could also it could manifest in fluid retention in the feet. Especially if you got like, let's say like, according to like the Placidus method, it's like Pisces in the 11th and the 12th houses. It could be like having a swollen ankle and swollen feet. You know what I'm saying? Having fluid build up. And so now it's all big and shit. Like Wendy Williams actually has a very similar hookup. Let me look at her chart real quick. That's why her feet be looking like. I was like, God, Wendy Williams got the craziest cankle foot game, leg game I've ever seen. And I know people come down on Wendy because of her looks and all this and all that. I don't think Wendy is a bad looking woman, even if she doesn't have no butt. I'm one of those people who feel like, but having a big butt ain't meant for everybody, and everybody don't want no big old butt. I think Wendy is very sexy, and I think, especially back in the day, very attractive woman with the big boobs and the small lower body. That's fine. But what gets me when it comes to Wendy is everything from the knees down. That's a motherfucking fool. Like, her legs be looking like rolled up blunts. I'd be like, oh my God. Let me see exactly. I know she got some like. Yeah, I think. Well, I think people who say she not. I mean, we all have our opinions and are entitled to them. But I just disagree when people try to make it seem like Wendy ugly. Wendy look like, I mean, Wendy is a bad bitch, and she has been track record, face card been good. Wendy has been a very attractive woman, but it's just for me, I'm okay with the flat ass. It's the legs. When she be showing her legs, them legs be a fool. I was like, her legs and her feet, they look so crazy. She has ski. She has Jupiter and Taurus opposing Neptune. Now that's especially with her Neptune and Scorpio. Now that can deal with her being big, her gaining a lot of weight, especially with Jupiter and Taurus. And then her Jupiter and Taurus is opposing her moon. So I wonder if she like binge eats and stuff like that. But that's not what I came here to look at. It was about them feet, them ankles and them feet. That's she does have the moon conjoined in Neptune and Scorpio. So that could even be like, I wonder, like an infection, a foot infection. But once again, Neptune does deal with fluid. But I don't know if I'm just satisfied with this. I feel like it has to be something more. Then she got Saturn. This is here you go. Saturn in Pisces opposing her Uranus in Virgo. That's responsible. That plays a huge role in why her feet look the way they do. Number one, it could speak to an autoimmune issue. Two, Saturn in Pisces opposing Uranus and Virgo, especially with Uranus dealing with, because Uranus rules Aquarius, Uranus ruling the ankles. Saturn in Pisces. She's going through her Saturn return. Saturn in Pisces is the feet. So that opposition, especially, that's Virgo Pisces opposition between these two planets could absolutely deal with like a health crisis that could fuck up your feet, fuck up your ankles and your feet, Lord. Them shit look crazy. And with Saturn and Pisces, she got a lot of karma kit stored in her feet anyway. She had Method Man running her bath. You going through it. She has a lot of health issues. That Saturn and Pisces is fucking her up. You said she fucked her face up. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. It's the plastic surgery. I just hate when women get so much plastic surgery. It's really when you start messing with your face. Little stuff like fillers, I guess, do your thing, but Cardi B surgery looks so bad. That's that Venus and Scorpio. Saturn is in Pisces. Transit Saturn. Y'all saw how Black China removed the filler from her face. These girls and that's usually because you can tell when a woman gets to about 40 or when a woman gets of a certain age and she starts doing certain stuff to her face, it's kind of a dead giveaway that she's aging. So when you see these girls who are like habitually doing stuff to their face, they can be young. You know, they starting young in their early 20s. Being in your early 20s and touching up your face is crazy. And they be looking crazy. Like it does age you prematurely. You know? I just thank God for my face card, knock on wood. I've gotten that like I look and I do attract younger guys. I attract like niggas in their early 20s, mid 20s. But I've gotten that I look like 25, maybe 26. I mean, I'm okay with looking my age, but I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. One of my worst fears is to like age badly. But my mama look good. If y'all were to see a picture of my mom actually looks like she could be like, she give me like, oh, like older sister vibes. Like she don't. My mama look like she could be in her early 40s. Like, you know, like she don't look like she's old enough to have grown, super grown children. And then my dad looks pretty good, so he's a Virgo. So hopefully, with me having a Virgo moon, it's interesting. A lot of Virgo moons can have moms that look real young. Like Onika, Miss Nicki Minaj. Have y'all seen Nicki Minaj's mama? Looks good, baby. Nicki Minaj's mama look good as hell. How old do I look? How old do I look, y'all? Guess, Leslie. I'm not an Aquarius rising. What are you talking about? I'm a Libra rising, darling. Libra. Being, especially when Gemini was in the North Node. 26. Oh, okay. Cool. Not 23. Okay, but for the most part, I'm girl, I'm not 32. Hold on. Wait a minute. Girl, why you adding an extra year? I'm 31. Look, I'm acting like it's so far off. You ain't that far off. But hold on now. Give me my year. Give me that extra year. Give it back. I know it's 30 something because you had your Saturn return. Thank you. $29. Yeah, I'm 31. I'm 31. I'll be 32 this year though. My Mercury is in the 3rd house of Sagittarius. Can we talk more about Saturn return and Pisces for first timers? Okay, so with your Saturn return in general, if you haven't checked out my Saturn return live stream, go do so. But Saturn return is going to be a check. Wait a minute. I talked about Saturn and Pisces already, but I'll repeat myself a little bit. The Saturn return period is going to be a checkpoint, almost like a karmic checkpoint. It's like your introduction into adulthood when you consider all of the things that Saturn represents archetypically. You know, it deals with age, time, experience, all the things that are, you know, symbolized by Saturn. Saturn symbolizes like work, business, getting your business and affairs in order. So these are all things that ideally need to be done prior to your first Saturn return, but usually for most people, they'll encounter themes or like situations in life that force them to like come face to face with that. You can even look at Saturn as being like a reality check. So when Saturn is in Pisces, these are people who can go through very harsh reality checks. These are people who may not naturally be in tune with reality. Not naturally, when Saturn is in Pisces, your discernment can be very off kilter. So learning very harsh lessons about your discernment. So that, and of course, it depends on what house, right? It could play out in the form of being tricked, being kind, being deceived. Saturn in Pisces is loss, experiencing a major loss in some type of way, or going through something where, maybe your lack of boundaries, or maybe, you sacrifice, you learned a hard lesson about, how much you sacrifice. You sacrifice something and it ends up not being worth it. But it's about your ability to stay in tune with reality, or going through something that kind of forces you to adapt your to lean more into your own spiritual beliefs. Because sometimes life is hard in general, but when Saturn and Pisces, a lot of people have a hard time dealing with it. That's why a lot of people from that Saturn Pisces generation, these are like especially with the rappers, these are like the pill poppers and the druggies and obviously everybody with Saturn and Pisces ain't got to be a drug addict or alcoholic, but it could be a lot of karma in that. And it just also depends on where it's placed. Because an example of this would be like, oh, if you have Saturn and Pisces in the third house, okay, you may not be a drug addict, but maybe you have a sibling who is. Maybe you have a sibling with a debilitating illness. It happens. So maybe for a person with that placement, their Saturn return could activate some kind of situation with that sibling or something, So it just depends. But those are like the major themes. I'm sorry. Damn. Car accidents don't be no joke, baby. Yeah, issues with the ocean, all this other shit that's been happening in the water, very Saturn and Pisces. Jupiter in the 7th house. I talked about Jupiter in the 7th house already. You're gonna have to get this on the play bike, baby. No wonder you funny as you like a side, you like me, you like my voice, it turns you on. This ain't nothing. Wait till you see it in the thong. Don't be scared for your Saturn return. It is what it is. That's so Saturn. It just is what it is. You either gonna experience it or you gonna die first. Hopefully you don't die first. And if it don't kill you, congratulations. Welcome to the next round. For me, and I guess since we're talking about Saturn, I'm gonna go ahead and give my little anecdote, my anecdotal story. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, that's crazy. But I just feel like your Saturn return is only going to be like, there are good things that could come out of it. You know what I'm saying? I think the more positive parts of Saturn is that it teaches you how to be tougher. It teaches you maturity, discipline. So once again, these are all themes that could arise. Things that put you to the test. Saturn is a test. Is where you're going to be tested. And even if you fail the test, it's like, guess what? You know next time you're a little bit wiser. That's why after you hit that Saturn return period, especially for most women, your love life changes. Like, for example, I have my Saturn in Aquarius. So I'm fresh off my Saturn return. But it's opposing my Chiron in Leo. And like, I will say I met the dark side of Gemini during my Saturn return, and it taught me a very valuable lesson about what I look for in relationships or when it comes to like lovers. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of taught me, like, damn, bitch, you gotta grow up, especially with my Chiron and Leo. Like you gotta, like dealing with young niggas and going through young bitch shit, and if y'all was there to witness it, it just that situation just woo! Woo! Now, if a nigga is younger than 25, don't look at me. Honestly, let's up the age a little bit more. I've been dating within like recently the 27 and up pool. If you a young motherfucker whippersnapper, baby, you really can't do nothing for me. Stay away from me. And if you a Gemini, I just might tase your ass. Stay away from me. Stay the fuck from around me. But I made it. You was dealing with a Gemini. Kill it before it lays eggs. A Sag daddy. You're a Gemini woman looking for girl. Come get one. Oh, y'all want to hear a Sag story? Okay. So we're not dating by no means. He's not my nigga. But it's a nigga where I already know in my brain. Especially if you're somebody who has, I think it's called CPTSD, or you just have a history of like gravitated towards niggas you know it's not good for you, but they're fun. They're a good time. That's my dilemma. And he's a scammer. I got Venus square Neptune. I'm always running into scammers, drug dealers, like, but he's from Chicago, right? He just moved down here from Chicago, and he looked like a little Chicago nigga, like, that's not really that. I mean, he looked kind of fine. Like, he got the dreads and the tats, and he's like my type a little bit. But when he opened his mouth, he's very ignorant. He, I would never take a nigga up the street with me, honestly, But he got a big old. Y'all know how Nene was she sliding down another man's. So he got a big old, and he know how to use it. And he real fine. But the point of this story was he's a Sagittarius sun and moon. And even though I'm a Sag woman, I'm a Sag woman, but dealing with Sag men is a very interesting experience. You got to be built a certain way. You just do, because they're very closely related to like the Gemini specimen of man, which makes sense because Gemini and Sagittarius are opposite. So if the Gemini men are very flighty, they're here today, going tomorrow, community dick. If Gemini men, and think about it, Gemini rules what? The third house rules what? Community. If Geminis are community dick, Sagittarius men are for the highways and the byways. Okay. And like, Geminis will talk a lot of shit. And, it's dealing with Sagittarius men is a little more dangerous because they'll hype your head up more. And they got a little bit more follow through than a Gemini would. And I could feel him doing it to me. And I know it because I do it to his ass right back. And I do it to other people. So we, like gassing each other up. He be like, damn, babe. I be like, babe, like, what you doing, daddy? Knowing damn well, like, I know he's fucking other bitches. I know he's a thigh. I know he's dragging his dick from coast to coast. Like, you know what I mean? I know the minute I find somebody else I want to fuck with a little bit more than him, because I'm working on building my roster up. The minute I get a new favorite nigga, I'm moving his ass to the back of the line. Let's pack it up, nigga. Pack this shit the fuck up. But we love pretending like we just like each other so much. And I be thinking, I'm like, wow. This is love bombing. And I know it's such a crazy feeling when you know you be in love bomb. You don't mean none of this, nigga. hey, like, on there, like, and you know what I'm saying? And he keeps saying, we twins. Nigga, I'm not your twin. I guess he kept talking about us being Sagittarius, but he trying to manipulate me and get in my head so that, like, I can be okay with everything that he doing because, like, we're twins. Nigga, we is not twins, bitch. I'm a Sag sun, but I got that Virgo moon and my Libra rising, and I see you for your works. We twin. We twinning them. We twin, right? We twin. Oh, okay. He's a terrorist. He's a whole terrorist. What I not narc ass. And I just love bombing him right back. Don't do it. It's too late. No! May the best Sag win. Fuck it. I'm like, and when I felt myself, like, I was like, damn, Megan, is this another test? Like, should you just turn the other way? But then the Sag in me is like, nah, like, I gotta turn my shit up. Like, I gotta be me. Like, he hasn't met me. May the best Sag win. Fuck it. I know you like that, nigga. Huh? We twinning. But we're not twins, but we might be on the same page when it comes to that. Because I know for a fact that nigga hang up the phone and be like, ha, yeah, got another one. I know, I just know it. He don't say it, but it's a vibe, it's a feeling. I done been around the block. I know it. I just know it. I just know it. He's so unserious. But he like acting like he's serious. So I act like I'm serious. You know, like when you fake get mad, you know, he'll call me, or he'll call me after, I'll call him and he don't answer, then he call me back. And I'd be like, wow, like, you ain't answer my call, like that. You gotta make him feel like you care a little bit. Like, you ain't answer my call, like, the fuck going on? Where your bitch at? Like, you with other bitches on? Damn, chill on me. Like, chill on me, twin. No, and damn well, I genuinely don't. From the bottom of my heart, I truly don't give up. I don't give up. Because I've been and just got off the phone with another nigga. I don't care. I don't. But it's fun. Fun. Good view. Great view. The water's fine. I'm just scared at, like, when the love bombing is over, y'all know that shit go left real fast. So I'm just like, when the other shoe drops, I'm really finna be out of there. I'm not wasting no time, because as good and, like, as I know it can be, as passionate, that's very Sag, as I know it can be, when that honeymoon period, because Sag is all about the honeymoon period, honey. We move fast, we hop in the shit, but when that shit go left, I gotta go. I know Sag men are not the ones to commit or to expect commitment from. They're not. I don't want it. I don't want commitment from that nigga. Like I said, I would feel crazy taking that nigga to any family function. Imagine me doing a live stream and he walking through my house. I would be embarrassed and humiliated. And it's not because he not fine, but he is a certain type of nigga who come from a certain type of environment. And I am a little judgy. I still got that Libra ascendant. I care. I'm not a trench ass bitch. But that's a trench ass nigga. Yeah. And you're a scammer. How the fuck would I build a stable life with a nigga who lies and deceives for a living? That doesn't make good sense. Like, it's just so many reasons I would never want commitment from that man. He got multiple kids. Bitches back in Chicago who probably still fight. That's another thing he's telling me. Oh, well, you know how niggas do. They give you half of the story. Hey, man, what he say? This bitch she tweaking. You know, the Chicago verbiage. She tweaking. Shawty tweaking, man. This bitch gonna post she love me on her motherfucking page. Man, I don't love that bitch. Man, and the minute the nigga started talking down on the last bitch, that's another red flag. That means you got like 7 business days to get your dick and get the fuck up out of there, because he ain't gonna treat you no different. You know what I'm saying? The minute you start getting on his nerves, because he's still in love with the bitch. He was fucking the shit out of her. That's why she doing what she doing, but he not gonna tell you that. But you know, he was acting all aggravated. Why she posting me? I'm like, is she posting you because she still wants you? Don't you still want her? Hell no, I don't want her. I'm here with you. I want you. Like, I'm not even on that. Shorty tweaking. She tweaking. Yeah, she fucked up my car, and I had to get another. I'm like, niggas be telling on themselves, and I'm like, yeah. And it's just adding to the list in my head. Well, like, I'm like, okay, I would, if he did not have what he has, if he didn't look the way he looked, he would get no play from me. There would be no benefits. Like, if he didn't look the way he looked, and if he don't have what he had, and if he didn't motherfucking gobble up this pussy like motherfucking neck bones from Big Mama house and suck on my clit like a motherfucking pacifier and long dick me to eternity, it wouldn't be what it is. I'll tell you that much. That nigga got baggage. And he not wrapped too tight. He strike me like he beat bitches too. That's another one. So I try to keep it kind of cute with him. Y'all know I like to test niggas. I like to see how far I can push you. That's my son Mars shit. Like, I like to see if I'm dealing with a dude, I want to see if I can bully him a little bit. And I remember I tried that on him, and I said, whoa, this nigga's from the trench. He's a little too trenched out for me. I have to play it safe. So I immediately hop in my white girl bag when I'm with him. Like, I have to be, I'm a good girl. So he thinks I'm a good girl. Because, baby, you're not going to be piecing me up into oblivion. That nigga beat bitches. Cut him off anyway. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it before it gets too deep. But I just got to, just one more time. One more time. Sag men beat bitches from time to time, and they will always buy gifts. Oh shit. I wouldn't say all, but a lot of, like, you know, just if we're talking about the archetype of Sagittarius can have anger issues, or like when they get angry, they can get really angry. My face say I'm a nitty. Oh. They are very generous. What types of chart readings are you currently open for? Email me, astrowerld@gmail.com. I heard that a lot of men with fire sign energy can have anger issues. Once again, it just depends. It depends on what planets we're talking about. But yeah, Sagittarius, especially moons. So the fact he got that sun moon Sagittarius conjunction, I know he can get a really bad temper. I know he can. And like, you know, whenever we would talk about stuff and we be real passionate about it. And I don't even think I'm yelling, but he was like, why are you yelling? What's to you? What's to you, shorty? Why are you yelling at me? I'm like, nigga, I'm not yelling at you. I'm not yelling. If I was yelling, you would know. Like, he's very like, you know, and then he get on his little, it's just really interesting. Whenever I fuck with another Sagittarius, I get reminded of how annoying we could be. And then I think to myself, like, do I come off like that? Because y'all niggas is annoying a little bit. Like, He's always talking about whatever he feels so strongly about. He going off on tangents like that preaching shit. He's a very preachy Sag, but like don't get it confused for like wisdom. Although Sagittarius as an archetype does like to strive to expand and learn new things. You do have Sagittarians where it's like if they're limited in their environment, they just gonna talk about what they know, but they'll do it in a way where maybe they'll come off as a know-it-all. They think they know everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he is when it comes to like street people shit or just shit that, or even like he think he know like women or just it's just and I'm just like, shut up. Like, I don't know. He just be talking about me like, you and your theories. Sagittarius is very like theoretical. But and I don't mind it, but his theories are dumb. You're dumb. He's definitely not he's not a thinker. Some Sagittarians, you have the really intellectual persuasion, and then you have the airheads or the ones who just kind of like, he's the but he still know how to run his mouth, and that's annoying. Like, because I can tell you ain't picked up a book. I can tell you ain't. There's no substance. It's just opinions. Like, there's nothing for real that comes in that's going into these analyses that you're telling me. You just opening your mouth and you saying shit, especially when he get to talking about like, I know how females be doing. You just moved to Atlanta from Southside Chicago, and you fuck 3 bitches in Atlanta, and you're gonna tell me you know how all the bitches in the nation are? You know what I'm saying? You are an idiot. Close your mouth. Open your zipper, but close your mouth. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Know your fucking place. And then I'll be thinking like, damn, do I come off like that? Ugh. I think I know everything. It's annoying. I'm like, if you knew everything, you wouldn't be a scammer now, would you? You wouldn't have to rely on stealing from niggas for a living now, would you? Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't have all the answers. Sagittarius, we do think we know everything. And like, here's my thing. It's the things that I know that I act like that about. And I can admit that. You know what I mean? Like, I know I act like that on certain topics. But if it's something that I'm kind of middle of the road about, or I just don't have every now and again, y'all might even hit me with an astrology-based question. And I'll be like, oh, let me look into that a little bit more. I don't really have a strong opinion on that. Let me go check that out. Even as a professional astrologer, some things I'm okay with not knowing, or I'm not finna cap like I know it, or you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like the Sagittarius I've met don't have that. Like especially the niggas, because I think it's an ego thing. He is all bronze and no brains. No brains. I'm not teaching classes right now. Maybe in the future. No, you're not like that. Otherwise, I wouldn't watch you. Well, that's good to know. My uncle divorced my aunt, who's a Sag. Haven't heard from her since the news broke out, child. Oh, Lord. All she did was preach. I have a lot of Sag places, and sometimes I think I know everything. However, I'm not all bronze and no brains. Seated for your lives moving forward. Yes. Keep coming back, baby. Keep coming for more. Lack of intelligence would have me like Arizona. Oh, dry. That's a turn off. I guess it just depends, because I can compartmentalize, you know. I can compartmentalize, but like I've already decided a very long time ago that his physical attraction, like that's something that I'm solely in this for. So like I don't I try not to carry myself or engage with him. Like I mean I talk shit and we love bomb each other, but we'll turn around and not talk to each other for days. You know what I'm saying? Like I try not to get that invested because I know this. But you know, your body still has physical reactions, so I'm gonna still get wet if you touch me in the right places. I'm gonna still get wet, baby, cause you ain't. I mean, you could talk while we fucking, but you know, I don't mind that. That's the only time I don't mind when you talk to me. Yes, his dick is so big and it got like a little curve to it. Thank you, Rachel. You have Sag and Jupiter, 8th house. Isn't that about other people's money? It is. That could deal with you being indebted or having a lot of debt on a lot of people. And I mean, it don't have to be like actual people. It could be, but it could just be like having a lot of open credit cards or some shit. Student loan debt, especially if we're talking about in Sagittarius. Or, excuse me, Jupiter. If we're talking Jupiter even in the 8th house. Yeah, I'm definitely a wise Saggy moon, but definitely have foreign boundaries over telling people truth when they passively ask for them, in my opinion. I'm working on that too. Because not everybody needs not everybody is asking you for your input and not everybody's asking you for your advice. Sometimes people just want to vent. And they don't, because that's why Sagittarius could come off as like being on their high horse, like you're giving people information, you just automatically know better. So I get it. Jupiter in Leo, 5th house, when it comes to relationships, that could be like a lot, like a long string of like situationships, or where you just jumping into situations like where attraction can be very strong, where things can be a whole lot of fun, a lot of romance, a lot of laughs, but then once again, after that honeymoon period, you can look at Jupiter as honeymoon. After that honeymoon period is over, like fuck you up. That could deal with like having a long string of lovers, but you might want to be careful though, because that could lead to pregnancy and stuff. Or like you having a little bit too much fun. But like Jupiter in the 5th house of, that's like just casual to me. That's like casual, like just even no strings attached. Or if there are strings, it's just a very passionate kind of like hookup. It doesn't read as like a serious long-term placement to me. Obviously not saying these people can't have those. It's just, or you might even run across, if you don't have that type of mentality, you could come across people with that mentality, like your prospects. So like a guy who's just like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, baby girl. Here for a good time, not a long time. Thank you for the cash app. Taquita. Thank you. Ooh, y'all making it rain down on. Come and make it rain down. Let me take another one of my little gummies so I can go to the moon. I'll go to the moon. I feel like balloon. Is there a way for a Sag male to be committed? It doesn't seem possible. It just depends on what other energies he has in his chart. It just depends on what he got in his chart. I don't want to be nasty, y'all. My bad. Like, I put the rest of the gummy in my mouth, and then I realized, like, how high I got the last time I did that. And I had to take it off. You're pregnant and in so much pain. Doctor said everything looks good, but I'm so sick. I'm sorry. What's your moon doing? What's your moon sign? How's it placed? Because in a woman's chart, that could be a strong indicator of like what pregnancy is going to be like, even childbirth. Thank you for the super chat, the 11th hour. Appreciate your Libra rising gang. Period. Period. No, you said my name correctly. God bless you. What name? Hold on. Who? Me? Yes, I would think Cancer does that too. Moon and Virgo in the 7th house. 3rd pregnancy. Having a Virgo moon, because I'm a Virgo moon too, but I can kind of see how it can be. Now, I can definitely see how it can deal with you complaining a lot during your pregnancy. Virgo's all about, it's a sign of complaint. So Moon and Virgo, I can see you complaining a lot, especially if like to your spouse or your partner in the 7th house, or relying on them to help you out a lot. Oh, Cash App. Thank you. I said your name right. But yeah, don't you be relying, or if you are with your, your BD or the significant other, whatever the case may be, you could be like, Virgo moons could be a lot more annoying while they're pregnant. I know I was way more annoying because all I did was complain. My back is aching, my bra too tight, my booty shaking from the left to the right, heartburn. And oh yeah, that's another thing. Moon and Virgo. I know your indigestion during pregnancy has to be off the charts. Indigestion, all that, like, ooh. Why don't I do videos every day? Because I got a job. I work. Astrology is not my full-time gig. My channel ain't that big. I ain't got to go on like that. I got to keep the light bills paid, baby. I got to keep shit going. And then I got clients too. Like, so when I am doing astrology, I have clients, I have Patreon. I do upload like more regularly to Patreon. So if you want to see more content, feel free to join my Patreon. I was going to say I'll post the link in the description box on the playback. So I'll be sure to put all of that in the description section of this video. Thank you, Michelle. Conley. Is that me? Wait a minute. Do I know you? Is it who I think it is? Or am I tripping? Do I know you? I don't want to say what I want to say. Then you be like, no. My mom's a Virgo moon. She gives me so much anxiety. Virgo moon moms, Cancer moon moms are definitely helicopter moms. They worry a lot. Virgo and Cancer are the two signs that worry the most. They can be very worrisome, and they don't know how to leave good enough alone. So they just, Virgo picks and nags, and Cancer is just, It can be clingy and suffocating and smothering. And Sag moon pregnancy, I would say, of course, let's say in a vacuum, a Sagittarius moon pregnancy, I feel like that's a placement where you can gain a whole lot of weight too. I have an aunt who was a Sag moon. I mean, she's still alive, but she gained a lot of weight during her pregnancy, like a lot, and she ate that's really because she ate everything that didn't eat her first. She ate it. I would also say too, like they could be a lot more active during their pregnancy than most. So like getting pregnant and going to lay up and sit down somewhere, not so much. A lot of family and people like that could have a strong hand in not even just like helping you with your pregnancy, but like even during the birth process, even while you're like when the baby gets here, having family out of town coming to get the baby, or helping out with the baby, because a lot of Sag moons do come from very large families. Taurus moon pregnancy. I feel like pregnancy for a Taurus moon individual, I mean, the obvious interpretation is food, right? So they could have, more specifically, especially depending on what's happening with the moon, these are the people who run the risk of eating like for example, let's say you have your Taurus moon in the 11th house. Like I've seen that in the chart of a woman who, what do you call it, y'all? When you eat stuff that's not really food, or you can have like weird little quirks and shit like that. Like, what is that called? Like women who eat fucking cornstarch and like, bitch, what? Like, what are you doing? That's not even real food. But yeah, that's like more of like an afflicted Taurus moon pregnancy. But like a lot of nesting with the moon in Taurus, receiving a lot of support from family too, but especially like financial support. Weird cravings, yeah, like my strange, like stuff like that. That could be like a Taurus moon, like especially if it's like afflicted or something like that. If it's placed funky, or if it like has some funky aspects to it. Pika, that's the word I was looking for. Pika, 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 pika. I'm very dramatic, and I asked my man for lots of help. I can definitely see myself with a doula. Now, doula energy could be Scorpio moons. Or like, let's say if you have your moon positively aspecting Pluto or something. I'm dramatic also. Yes, y'all not liking it. You not liking it? Hold on, let me check this goddamn video. Y'all not liking the damn video? Y'all in my face asking questions and shit. It ain't like the motherfucking video. Y'all done been with me for how long? And you just watching? Oh, 55. That's not that bad. Because it's 68 people, but still. Let's be for real. Okay. Y'all not serious. Be fucking for real. I'm so captivating. Thank you. Your daughter is a Pisces sun. You have a Pisces moon. That's so cute. Cancer moon pregnancies. I feel like they could be a lot more sensitive to pregnancy. So those are like they get pregnant and like really the archetype of a pregnant woman, like the stereotypical pregnant woman. So getting pregnant and just very moody, all over the place. You know what I mean? I feel like it could take more of a toll on your emotional health with the moon in Cancer, pregnancy and stuff like that can. How to find second pregnancy? You know what? That's one of those questions that I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. Even when it comes to like, because certain astrologers have, and I'm very aware of the theory that, certain houses, like where if we're talking about the fifth house, for some astrologers, that could be indicative of like the first child. And then you have, other houses that represent the second kid, the blah, blah, whatever. I don't really know if I subscribe to it because I like to come up with my own decisions and, take a bunch of different things into context. So let me do a little bit more research and I'll get back to you on that. Okay? Because I don't really know how I feel about that theory before I just perpetuate it and say some shit. Your kitty is going to be hot. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? I know pregnancy affects the male sometimes too. Does the moon play a part in that? Yeah, well, the moon mirrors. It mirrors and it mimics. So it's very easy when we talk about that lunar energy for the people around you to kind of reflect to you what you've been giving out or vice versa, So I could see that. Especially if he also has a lot of Cancer energy himself. Partners in your chart, that's going to be 7th house vibes. Look at what your Venus is doing. If you're a woman, look at what your sun is doing. Look at what your Mars is doing. I was going to say, look at what your man is doing. Look at what your man is doing. Weather. You want better, so you did better. You high? See, that's the only thing I don't like about edibles. Look, I'm like, you high? Wait for my shit to kick in. Usually you gotta say, this edible ain't shit. And that's when they're activating your ass be zooted. It's hard to say. And that's another thing. I feel like sometimes in astrology, and I'm responding to your comment, Immortal Destiny. I feel like sometimes, a lot of times, especially when we get into like a lot of astrologers on Twitter, I feel like they overgeneralize stuff. And with astrology, things can be very nuanced. And so it's kind of hard to paint things with like a broad brush. Like if you have Venus in the 7th house, you're going to meet a partner at court. When you go to court, you're going to go to court and you're going to meet a partner. Like if you have Venus in the 9th house, you're going to meet a partner when you go out of town. Like, yeah, you could, but sometimes it'll play out differently. Like, okay, maybe you didn't meet your partner, in court with Venus in the 7th, but you met your partner through other people. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just depends. It's hard for me to say. I honestly would probably have to look at the entire chart, and it's a lot of things that go into that. Because I feel like you could say that, but I just feel like it's disingenuous when astrologers approach it like that. You got Venus in the 3rd house, you met your partner at school. You could. Your partner, your next door neighbor. You're gonna meet your partner, and your partner is gonna be your next door neighbor with Venus in the 3rd house. It's like, okay, theoretically, Could it happen? Possibly. But then it also sets people up to be like, astrology ain't real. I got Venus in the third house. I didn't meet my partner. My partner's not my next door neighbor. I met my partner, I don't know, wherever the fuck I met my partner. But like they could check off the Venus third house archetype in other ways. But you see what I'm saying? Astrology ain't real. This shit is fake as hell. They don't know what they talking about. My horoscope told me I had Venus in the second house. And that I would meet my partner at, when I was getting something to eat. And that ain't even true. Like, they said I'm going to meet my partner at work. Although you could, theoretically, perhaps. Rabina did an excellent shout out to Rabina. That's my mentor. Rabina Rastafan, the realest astrologer. She's really dope. Really dope at what she does. Let me remove your comment. She's really dope at what she does. She's the queen. Period. Simple-minded people. Yeah, it's very simple. I feel like it's oversimplified. I see a lot of that on astrology Twitter. Me and Rabina, I would call her, or like we be talking, and I'd just be reading some of these tweets, and we just be laughing. And she gets so disgusted. She was just like, ugh, don't read them to me no more. We just be sitting there just laughing. Like, ugh, this is disgusting. You want better, so you did better. Wetter. Do I subscribe to psychics? Very, very few. And I mean, it may be two. It may be two psychics on this World Wide Web on YouTube that I would like watch and check out. And even then, I do it with a certain mindset. Like, because I feel like a lot of these psychics are exploiting the confused. And they're keeping y'all, and especially if don't get me started on the love psychics. Shuffles cards. Oh yeah, he's gonna call you back. He's gonna call you back on Wednesday. Yeah, let me see. Ooh, Ace of Cups. He wants a new beginning in love with you. Yeah, shuffle again. Ooh, the Lovers. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna call you. He's been thinking about it. He's deleted the messages, but yeah, he's and then the whole time the nigga actually hates your guts. Whole time in reality, you don't need to hold your breath. Whole time in reality, that nigga really hopes you would die in traffic. But you're watching said psychic who's telling you this nigga is finna come back into your life tomorrow. Don't hold your breath. Them bitches they really be, they tell people what they want to hear. Or they'll do readings every day. And it's like, how many messages are you really getting from spirit? They'll be like, it'll be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Damn, bitch. How many different, you see what I'm saying? Like, let's see what's the general collective? What's the general collective? And then like their messages be things where it's like, you really could be talking about anybody. Like, it's not specific enough. You just saying shit. And people who are vulnerable, and that's where we get into like spiritual bypassing and the dangers of that. And even though I am an astrologer, and some people would say astrology is a pseudoscience and things like that, I like to be very technical. My moon I have an 11th house moon, Virgo moon, so I like to be very technical, very mechanical, and I'm still very logic based with my shit. So it got to make sense to me a little bit still. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when we get into like spiritual bypassing, where people just is saying like airy fairy shit, and it just don't make no type of sense, or like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I can just pick up on it. Like I can pick up on it. Like, yeah, you full of shit. Like you full of shit, bro. Bitches be saying shit. And I just feel like it sucks for people who don't have the discernment, because they be giving these folks all their money. Or, they capitalize on people who like got mental health issues. And I've had clients where I could tell it's something not really right with you. and you're overly relying on astrology. And I will tell you that you're overly relying on astrology when I need you to plug back in, go get you some like clinical help, because I'm not a doctor. Okay. I'm not just gonna keep taking your money. Go do something with that. Go do something with that. Like something real. Go get you some real resources. Tangible. Because this is like, to me, astrology, spirituality, divination, all these things are like supplemental. They can help supplement your journey. And, they're useful tools to help you build upon an already very solid foundation. But I'm getting sidetracked. Point is, that's why I don't like most psychics. That's why I don't like most psychics on the internet. And even, like Twitter too, and daily messages, and y'all just be saying shit. It just be a bunch of noise. A bunch of noise. You do need discernment. I'm like, Venus conjoined to Pluto or Venus sextile Neptune. And like, what are you referencing with that? Sloan Bella is the only. I watch her for entertainment value, and I actually haven't watched her in a long time, actually. But like, I've watched some of her stuff before, put it like that, and it was interesting. It was interesting. Some speak so broad that it can apply. Yeah, especially those reading titles like "Your Twin Flame is Waiting for You." That shit is harmful, especially if you're somebody who's dealing with limerence. If you're somebody who's dealing with, like, you're having a difficult time accepting life on life's terms, and then you have somebody feeding you false hope, or like, people should be helping to give you tools that, like I said, useful tools, things that can help you in the here and now. That shit is crazy. I feel like it should be criminal. It's a crime. Because why are you doing people like that? My bad. I didn't mean to highlight this. Atlanta has the best psychics, not on YouTube though, like offline. I've been to one psychic, and she pretty much predicted what I'm doing now. This was in 2016. She told me I would be. She told me I have a very similar spiritual gift to herself. I will be working in the spiritual field, and that if I don't use it, I'm gonna lose it, and some other stuff as it pertains to my personal life. But she ain't know me from a can of paint. I ain't tell the lady nothing, and she got it all right. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. God bless her wherever she is. No offense, but I hate that astrology and spiritual things went mainstream. Motherfuckers won't shut the fuck up about manifesting and being an empath. It's becoming oversaturated to the point where you have bad faith actors, people who don't know what they talking about, people who are just taking trigger words, keywords, and just, you're using them so much that the true meaning is being diluted. Even if we take it back to the twin flame example, if you really know what a twin flame is, because a lot of people paint twin flames in a light where, it's going to justify you having a certain type of attachment and connection to a person that you don't need to, and that could be harmful. Once again, especially if we're talking about limerence, or if you say like, this is your twin flame and this person is really supposed to be with you, that's not what it is. A twin flame is just somebody who mirrors certain things to you, and y'all, it's not this kind of great magical indication that y'all have a shared connection that is supposed to last and be there. Most people don't end up with their twin flames. Most twin flame connections are actually traumatic as fuck and are meant to help you learn certain things about yourself. That does not mean that person is supposed to be in your life. It don't. Now, you could probably tell yourself that because it seems better, it might sound better, or other people can have, they'll imply different shit to sweeten it up, and that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. But whatever. Tyler Terrell. That sounds familiar, but I'm not off the top of my head. I don't. You and Rabina have a wonderful sense of humor, and I love the stories y'all tell. That's because we Sagittarius. Ra got some good ass stories too. You know, Sagittarius, we're good at storytelling. Ra stories be real good. I love learning new things about tarot and astrology. I dated my twin flame. Yeah, a life lesson. It's not a sign that person is supposed to be with you, stay with you. You know, oh, you have this magical attachment to this person, and well, like all that other fairy, airy shit. That don't mean none of that. It really don't. Claiming, right? Claiming. This is me claiming. Like, okay. Okay. A soulmate, somebody who's a part of your tribe, somebody who 9 times out of 10, like the bond between, two people, their soul and their spirit is really just in sync with yours. To me, it's like and who am I? This is just me. This is just one person, but it's more of like if that person belongs in your tribe, like energetically, you know. Or maybe y'all souls have recognized one another from maybe past experiences or whatever, but it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic. Some people have they're soulmates with their pets, their soulmates, their children and all this other shit. So that's another term that's kind of been convoluted and just showing support. Thank you, Self-Made. Everybody and their mama's a tarot reader now. I don't encounter astrology Twitter. So how is Twitter, astrology, and tarot? Thank you. You're so sweet. Looking amazing live. Thank you. You know who you are. I'm not really that I'm not gonna lie. I done blocked all the tarot readers on my timeline. So I mean, every now and then I'll see, fire sign, Sag, Aries, and Leo, but I done blocked them, so I don't know. And the same thing with Twitter astrologer, Twitter astrology, Astro Twitter. I just started blocking niggas. So I can't think of off the top of my head, but they still saying crazy outlandish shit that don't make sense. And I'll notice that even in my comment section, like on my videos, a lot of people will say crazy shit or like stuff. And I don't know if I give off that energy, like I don't know what I'm talking about or something. But like I'll talk about something, I'll do a reading, and somebody feels like they know so much better than me, so they'll get in the comment section and, like, for example, I deleted a comment today under the what's the nigga? Oh my mama, Jeremy Brown. Oh my grandmama. The reading that I did for him, the bulk of the reading was me talking about his sun, Jupiter, and Chiron conjunction in Cancer, and the way in which that they're not the only things, but it was a large factor in why he was so unstable, emotionally unstable. How that 3-way conjunction could have led to him being really just an agitator, a menace, especially to women, having women who, hold him up and excuse his behavior, lacking emotional maturity, all these different things. And in the comment section, some random user 504 was like, Cancer is mostly a passive sign. So you need to, so all the things that you're describing come from somewhere else. Shut the fuck up. Is this my channel or yours? delete. I just deleted the comment. Because I could have responded, but I was just like protecting my peace. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Because what like I get that a lot. Like, you know, like people think they know a shot, so they'll just say shit and then it'll be wrong. And they'll be strong and wrong. Then I'd be a bitch if I were to say something about it. But you could have just like not said it. You could, or you could have formed it in a question, or I don't know. It's I'd be embarrassed for you a little bit. I'd be embarrassed for y'all a little bit. Well, I mean, not y'all. I don't see nobody in this chat that I know of like off the top of my head who do that, but it's a lot of people who do that. I'd be like, yeah, you know, such as like, you know, whatever, a video I'll talk about like, oh yeah, the 12th house, such and such, yeah. I don't know, feet, you know, such and such feet, or, you know, hospitals, 12th house hospitals, whatever. And then somebody be like in the comments, like, hey, yeah, you know, I'm my moon is in the 12th house and I have I don't know. I can't even think of some of the shit y'all. I can't even think of an example. My moon is in the 12th house and I be having problems with my back. My moon is in the 12th house and I don't know, like it just be weird shit and I be like, what are you talking about? I can't even think of no good damn example, y'all. That's how crazy and I'm truly speechless. I'm speechless. I can't even make a joke out of it because it just be so left field. I just be like, okay. Your phone died. You just can't get along with cancers. You tried. Cancers can be annoying. I mean, we all can, but I understand. It just depends on the type of person you are and what you got going on. Cancers are a little bit too clingy for me. They can be bratty and they can be very selfish, self-absorbed, very manipulative, especially like emotionally manipulative. I don't like that. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap this shit up. That's another really big generalization. Should you really? This is what I'm talking about, and it's not your fault, Virgo. But this is a great example of what I'm talking about. Should you really avoid people who fall in your 7th house? That's a really general thing to say. Why would you just on some dry shit avoid everybody in your 7th house? Like if I were to be like, yeah, you should, that would be crazy. But I know there are some astrologers out there who probably would say that. I mean, the 7th house can deal with compare, and also it's like you have to take into account what sign is in your 7th house, what planets rule that sign that occupies the 7th house. What else do you have going on in your chart? You see what I'm saying? Before you arrive to like a hard stop conclusion, like there are some generalizations that I feel like could apply, but I would not feel comfortable making that generalization. Hey, y'all, avoid people in your 7th house. Like, why would you? Like, I don't know. Is it because the 7th house could also deal with open enemies? It could, but it could also deal with friendship, partnership, business. If your 7th house is in good condition, why would you just by default avoid anybody from the 7th house? Like, unless other factors apply. And in that case, once again, it wouldn't just solely be because of that. So like, we can't just say that. Now, I will say you might want to avoid niggas if they son fall in your 8th house. But even then, well, I mean, there are exceptions to every rule. So, I mean, whatever. You could be like, oh, you know, you don't do generalizations. I don't do a lot of generalizations. There are a few. I feel a little bit more comfortable telling you to avoid people in your 8th house. Just because if we're being honest about what the 8th house represents. But looking at your chart, you know, there are different ways where it has some nuance to it. But me just being ignorant, I'm just, you know, I'll be like, I wouldn't do it. In the same way, I wouldn't fuck with nobody who's son on my South Node. Not for no relationship. A Cancer man can't get shit out of me, but away. Astrology is very situational. Very situational. My generalization is that Gen Z is the most self-absorbed and confused motherfuckers ever. Gen Zs are something else. Y'all, I don't know. I admire Gen Zs in a lot of ways. And that would be the Pluto Sagittarius generation. But just like Pluto and Sag, just like that Sag shit, y'all niggas, you gotta think about it. Pluto deals with extreme. Pluto and Sagittarius. This is why a lot of Gen Zers are born around like 2001, right? Think about it. Think about the 2001, the 9/11 attacks, all of these wars being fought over religion and extremism and terrorism being brought to the forefront. You know, they embody that energy. These are terrorists. Like when it comes to their beliefs, if you go against what they believe or if they feel like they on their high, like they will beat your ass. Like, prosecute you, persecute you, you know, until you acquiesce to their worldviews and shit. It's weird. And in a weird way, like they'll be hypocritical. Like, so for example, getting mad at somebody on the internet and then like saying like they're a horrible person, then the internet bullies them. But it's like y'all are bullying, like it'll be like, oh, Tom is a bad guy. And then everybody will get in Tom's mentions like, go die, bitch. That's why your mom's a slut, bitch. But it's like, all the things you're doing to Tom, does that make you a bad person? Because you're harassing Tom? So you're harassing Tom for harassing someone else? So if Tom is a bad person, are you a bad person? But you're doing what he's doing, or which, you see what I'm saying? You're doing something that morally could be arguable, like that could be questionable, but they feel justified in it because their belief, right? Oh, well, because that person is wrong, and if a person is wrong like this, they deserve whatever's coming to them. But that's very Pluto and Sagittarius. That's how terrorists think. Like, they'll do some fucked up shit, but they'll do it in the name of religion, right? And what's supposed to be right and good. And it makes them hypocritical. Like, okay, so you really just gonna get on a plane and blow niggas up and kill people? But you think you like, it just like they Pluto and Sagittarius, like Gen Z's, it don't really matter. They'll go to any type of length and extreme to prove a point, even if it dead ass makes them hypocrites. Like, another example I like to use, Pluto Sagittarians or Gen Zers are also very ageist. Now, to be the most enlightening generation, where it's like, you know, y'all are very much in tune with all the isms and the is and the isms. You know, you this, you're ableist, you're this. And all these things are valid. These are valid conversations that need to be had and brought to the forefront. But when it comes to like the privilege that y'all have in terms of being young or being in y'all call somebody an old bitch. 30. She look good for her age. She 30. Bitch, how old is 30 supposed to be? At your big age, at your big dinosaur, I mean, we having all the jokes, but I'm like, you must not plan on living long. You must not plan on living that long. You must got some plans on checking out, clocking out early, because you do know you're gonna be this age one day, right? Or just like thinking because you're a certain age, you're supposed to act or be a certain way. Although in general, like age appropriate milestones and things like that, they exist. But once again, that's that hypocrite shit. Like, oh, okay. Got it. At your fossilized age, but it's just like, that lets me know if you turn my age, you really gonna want to kill yourself for real. Because you're really just projecting onto me how your fear of aging. So when you actually get to be my age, you real deal gonna be ready to jump off a building and end it all. And I hate that for you. That means your self-esteem only gonna be somewhat decent in your 20s. And the minute you turn 30, you gonna wither away. Nah, Gen Z got jokes. They got jokes. I never said they ain't got jokes. Like, they got jokes. But the jokes are very telling. Like the stuff that they, like how they move and how they handle stuff is just real interesting to see. I'd be like, oh, okay, you got it. I do think the kids coming up, internet fucked up their head. Because we didn't have that. I mean, I'm part of like the millennial generation. I'm like a younger millennial, like mid to younger millennial. So I grew up with a little bit of both. Like I got the experience. We have Facebook in high school. MySpace. What's your MySpace? Put me in your top 8. What's your MySpace? Put me in your top 8. But all their opinions come from the internet. Like I said, I don't really want to be that person. The annoying ass old head. But some shit just has to be said. All right, y'all. Well, I love you. Thank you for coming out. I'm gonna before I leave, why are you still here? How do y'all feel about spicy content? How do y'all feel about porn and spicy content? You do. I've heard that, like, you grow into how you really gonna look in your 30s. Like that's when you like you become real ripe. Yeah. I think I look better than how I looked in my 20s. I looked a little crazy in my 20s. Don't make an OnlyFans? Why not? And I mean, obviously, it's not going to be. I'm honestly probably not going to promote on this channel because it has nothing to do with astrology. It just don't. So it'll be a completely different situation. But if you are somebody who would be into that kind of content coming from me, I'll kind of let you know on the side tip, like, oh, okay, it's out. I'll do my little shameless plug on the side, but I ain't gonna market it on any of my major platforms because it really has absolutely nothing to do with like it's not like I'm gonna be doing astrology porn. 12th Scorpio moon, 12th house. Come check me out. Like, it's not gonna be like that. And the only reason I didn't go down that route, because are there people out there who like porn and astrology? Of course, perhaps. But let's be real. I'm trying to appeal to these niggas, and a lot of these niggas are like the Sagittarius I just described. Dumb, uneducated, don't really know much about nothing. Like, let's be real. Bitch, we want to see some ass and titties, and we want to see you suck some dick. I don't give a fuck about if Mercury is in Gatorade. Like, I know how people think, so it just, I don't want to make sense. But yes, we need to have more adult chat separated from this. Exactly. Bust it open. I like it if the girls are fully compensated. I just think it depends on how you go about it. It just depends on how you go about it. I don't see myself having sex. I probably won't post that. Like, I'm not going to be fucking. Not that I think there's anything wrong or that makes me better. I don't think there's anything wrong with fucking it and fucking and busting it down. But I was thinking more along the lines of other X-rated content, other things. I'll let your imagination run wild. You gonna have the sad scam up. I was thinking of producing some content with him. He told me, he was like, yeah, I'll make something with you. And I was like, all right now, we'll see. But then that's mixing business with pleasure. And that's a no-no. That's a no-no. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that just yet. I love experimenting with different sex toys. It's really fun. Me too. Well, I only have one. That's it's the clit sucker from Target. Go cop it. I didn't start shivering. Now I shiver when I come. I didn't used to shiver. That shit had me shivering. Ooh. Ooh. I've been searching up some fandom things, men that have a fetish giving money. Get that money. I ain't mad at you. As of course, Mars in the 12th house. Trying to Pluto, I like it. I just feel like it's really a market out there. My thing is this, and that's like with all things. I'm not against sex work, but I feel like if you are going to be somebody who does sex work, you really need to be that bitch. You need to make sure it's worth your fucking while. Like, for example, even with like prostitution. Now, once again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with prostitution. I love the girlies. You owning your body, you making your own money, peace in a bottle of hair grease. I'm just saying, based on the totality of the lifestyle, I wouldn't do it. But let's say if I were to do it, if I were to like officially like prostitute for a profession, I'm not standing on the corner giving out $40 blowjobs. Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not servicing truckers. And I'm not, that to me, that's so low class and stank and like your coochie stank. My clientele would not be blue collar workers. My clientele would be like, I can do some, okay, I'm gonna wire you $5,000 to your account. Hoeing. I can do that. Oh, like, okay, here goes 6 bands, 7 bands. I'm gonna put you in the PJ, come out here for a weekend. Let me slut you out. Okay, like maybe with a few terms and conditions that maybe we specify. Let me draw up this contract real quick. Yeah. Give me my deposit up front. Give me 80% up front and then 20 while we're there. We might can make it work. But like, oh, I got $30 hand job. Like, that's crazy to me. So if I were gonna be a prostitute, I'm thinking more like escort echelon. Like, you know what I mean? Like niggas like the boilers, like the real like bread. Like, okay, I got a little money to play with. I can let me send Megan 10 bands so she can come out here and suck this dick. I'll be like, oh, 10 bands in my account. Okay, and we'll do this same time next week, or yeah, tell your friends about it too. Okay, so yeah, so he's gonna hit me up next week. You're gonna give me 10 bands today. Your friend's gonna hit me up next week. He's gonna give me 5, and then the friend the next week is gonna give me another 10. Yeah, absolutely. Like I have my boundaries and my limitations in my contract. But yeah. I'll come in for some money. Boop, 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 in your whole, But it gotta be worth it. Because other than that, it's kind of giving like $2 hoe vibes. It's giving like, it just gives like struggling and trashy and cheap. And no offense to all my 304s. Like I said, somebody got to do it. But I couldn't see myself doing it on that caliber. I like $1 million hoes, $1 million prostitutes. You know what I mean? Make it worth your while. If you go, and then if you get paid that much, you don't really have to have that much wear and tear on your body. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have to. Of course, if you fucking for $100, you gotta be turning trips. You gotta be on the stroll. Cause you gotta get that money to add up. But if you fucking niggas for, like I said, 10 bands a pop, you could have 5 clients. Like I said, 5 clients 1 month. You're getting 50 bands for 5 days of work, maybe. To me, that makes more sense. Like the risk that you take on society-wise, having a certain stigma attached to you, having people find out about it, just all the other cons and the risks that come with it, even physical danger, your emotional and your psyche, your mental health, all of those risks, those very real risks associated with sex work. I feel like it would be a little bit more worth the reward to me. You know what I mean? It makes a little bit, if you're making $1 million salary or even well over a 6-figure salary, closer to 7 figures, it'll make a little bit more sense to me. Okay. Do your thing. But y'all get what I'm talking about. I couldn't do sex work. There's so much. That's what I'm saying. It's so much. And you know what, too, though? When you change the caliber, I'm talking like I'm a prostitute. Y'all like, this bitch is a prostitute. She lying. I'm not a prostitute. But I've thought this over. I've thought it over. I'm a Capricorn North Node. Capricorn is the sign of prostitution. Capricorn is the sign of it's like some of the biggest madams in history have been like Capricorns. So I naturally I get it. Like I get it. But what's I saying? Oh yeah, so when it comes to the dangers that can happen in sex work. And this is just me. If I got 504s in the chat, somebody let me know. But like, I just feel like the dangers that are associated with sex work, to me, happens when you, once again, are servicing a lower tier of Johns. Obviously, rich men are capable of, being horrible people too. But when I think of having a clientele with more money, think about it. They got more to lose. So are you more likely to be stabbed up in the car after giving a nigga head from like a nigga who just gave you $75 for a blowjob, or a nigga who flew you out to insert exotic place with a lot of water, you know what I'm saying, and on the stand, and he sent you like a 4K deposit. You see what I'm saying? The businessman who just trying to get some pussy because he don't fuck with his wife like that no more. But he's the CEO of a company. Like, are these people capable of being criminals? Absolutely. But to me, their criminality comes out in other ways. Like, them be the motherfuckers where you need to check they computers to see if they got underage corn or something like that. Like, them niggas can be evil too. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to your physical safety, I really do feel like, because crime is associated with poverty, it really be the broke niggas, the broke folks who ain't got nothing to lose. Fuck it. I'm gonna kill this bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Like, them be the ones. But like I said, when you fucking with niggas, like, that's what I'm saying. If you become an upper echelon hoe, you save yourself. You don't eliminate all threats. There's always going to be downsides, but to me, it'll be a little bit more worth the risk, because you kind of lessen your chances of certain stuff if you only servicing billionaires and millionaires. Because the average billionaire and millionaire they're not risking it all to like they just. This conversation reminds me of the film Girl 6. What's that? What's Film Girl 6? So you know what I'm talking about. You Capricorn. Oh yeah, you are Capricorn Stellium. Don't be like that basketball player who impregnated that porn star. I meant to do a reading on him. He's a Cancer, by the way. He has so much Cancer energy, and he's a Cancer North Node. So in this lifetime, he not really used to dealing with women. That's why when he dealing with them, he go crazy. Like, oh my God, he's such a womanizer. Such a womanizer. And what's her name it kind of reminded me of me and the Gemini, y'all. Because the dark side of Gemini, he's his age. He come from that generation. He's a Cancer North Node, and I'm a Cancer South Node. And that's a perfect example of a twin flame scenario when you're dealing with somebody whose nodes are reversed or inverse of yours, because y'all are mirroring each other, but in different ways. A lot of the traits that you need to develop are what they're, or a lot of the traits that you need to get really familiar with are the traits they're here to kind of teach you. You see what I'm saying? So I thought that was kind of interesting. But it can make two people who are just like, they're going in two different directions in life. I thought that was really interesting. And everybody be coming down on Mariah because she's a porn star. And I guess maybe, because she blasted him, but I can't help but to still feel like people just be mad at her because she's a porn star. She's a woman and she's a porn star. At the end of the day, he's not a child. He's still a very much grown-ass man, even though he's a young adult, but he's not a baby. He's not, a pubescent boy. That nigga know what he doing. A fair trade ain't no robbery. He was getting him some good porn star pussy and some head and tail. He know what he doing. And that's what come with it. I don't feel bad for the nigga. She could be crazy, but guess what? What do niggas say when women complain about a nigga? You picked them. You picked her. You ain't know that bitch was crazy. You knew she was crazy when you was sticking your dick in her raw. You would just wake up, oh, I had no idea. I had no idea. You had plenty of ideas. You just was fucking and you didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Take your L. Take your card out. Swipe it to the game and keep it moving. You'll be all right, nigga. Niggas get put on blast every day, man. I mean, she should be I mean, I don't know what that means. It's just, I guess she should be maybe she shouldn't blast. I don't know. She said she was in love. Her feelings was hurt. Debatable. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Because I think, ain't she an Aquarius? Or I don't know what she is. Whatever. I don't feel sorry for that nigga, though. Head and tails. I had no idea. Talking about Mariah Mills. Mariah Mills. I like some of her work, but she made too many scenes with white boys for me. I'm like, girl, you need to. I think it's the public harassment. You know, maybe it's because I've harassed a motherfucker or two in my lifetime. So I'm going to sit this one out. Because if a nigga got me in my feelings, and maybe that could tie back into her Cancer South node. Because as a kid, even though you can be somebody who's very much about your business with Capricorn on the North Node, so I can see why she could be a sex worker. Like how we talk about that sex worker shit. Every now and then something happens that will trigger you into that Cancer South node mode. And I know because I've done it before, especially if you dealing with a nigga who has Cancer on the North Node. You see where that inverse nodal sign, that the issue is? Because that happened with me in the dark side of Gemini. His Cancer North Node triggered my Cancer South node. My Capricorn North Node triggered his Capricorn South node. Weirdest thing ever. But that nigga got me in my feelings. I was irrational. So if he was a famous whatever, I know Twitter and everybody would be eating my ass up. Like, this bitch is 31. He only 23. Why is she so? And I'd be like, yeah. You told me that we were gonna. Because when I lose my Capricorn kind of cool, it get a little. You know, because the way I look at it, like, you harass me first. You do something wrong to me. You betray me. You play in my face. In my mind, you set the ball in motion. Now I'm finna terrorize your ass, bitch. And you just gonna get what you get. Fuck you, nigga. So I can't get, I've learned a lot. But I can't guarantee you at a certain point in time, I wouldn't have been like that. I just can't. Because I think about all the things that I've done. I am not a crook. They would eat my ass up. Y'all know that. They'd be like, this over at your colossal age, this a big grown bitch fucking with nigga. Now I ain't as down bad as NLE Chopper baby mama. I'm like, that nigga was a teenager. You gotta relax, girl. Sis was like my age and let that nigga get her pregnant. That's crazy. Who was 23? The Gemini? Yeah. Yeah. But never, I couldn't do it again. I could not fuck with an early 20-something ever again. Unless it's for a good dick. I ain't gonna lie. Dick. The difference between the North and the South node, your North node is where you're headed, what you need to, traits you need to evolve. Your South node is really your unhealthy habits and attachments and things that in this lifetime you should be working on, like trying to get away from, although you can't really completely detach yourself. I mean, I'm a Virgo moon. You think you could date a famous person? Actually, yeah. Like, I've been in situations where, well, I haven't officially dated like a celebrity, but I've been in situations with famous people or like semi-famous people, and like basically I see where the conditions could happen. because I do have my Sagittarius sun in the second house, trining Chiron in my 11th house of Leo. So for me, a lot of times that manifests, especially with the 11th house dealing with friends. I have a lot of friends that I went to school with who are famous now, or who work in Hollywood, or like I'll meet a lot of people. Even in my previous line of work, when I did like entertainment journalism, when I worked for the radio, you see what I'm saying? Like I met certain celebrities, or like, for example, going to a certain award shows. Like I remember when I was 16 years old, it was for my 16th birthday. My birthday is right around the time the Dirty Awards happens. And I think the Dirty Awards always happens in Atlanta, or at least for these couple of years, it was in Atlanta. And my stepdad had got me and my best friend some tickets to the Dirty Awards. And because we knew it was going to be so many celebrities there, you know, we call ourselves being young, hot in the ass. We was like, you know what? We finna, I put on my finest. I think it was some jeans, like a cute little vest, ain't got no shirt on under the vest. We just thought we was too cute. Get there, had our little stunner shades on, our little, we thought we was finna get chose. Sagittarius, we could be some groupies. Sagittarius is the sign of groupie. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm thinking with a grown mindset. Like I'm thinking these niggas really finna like we really finna find us some niggas. Whole time we actually really did look like children, or just like goofy. And we ended up meeting DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Plies, and the way they was talking to us, I know they was thinking in their head like, whose kids is these? Like, so I said all that to say I've been in environments where it can like I can see myself getting with a famous person, or like hooking up with a famous person or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see. Another encounter I had was doing y'all know Travis Porter. Travis Porter is more like local famous. They're more like Atlanta famous. If you know Atlanta, you know Travis Porter. That's the okay now, ladies. You know you bad. Got some, don't need no man, but if you a top notch bitch, let me hear you holler. Bend it over, touch your toes, no, shut it, hold your bank, bro, whatever, them. But they had a bunch of shit. Travis Porter was like, they walk so the Migos can run. Long story short, a friend I had at the time, her sister was the real city girl, and she had a big sister who we used to kind of like tag along. And this was like when I was in college. We used to tag along with her, and she would go to all the parties. And she would get us into certain parties. And Travis Porter used to, they used to perform at like all the clubs, all the Atlanta parties. And I remember one night she got us into Club Opera. Shout out to, if you from Atlanta, Club Opera was especially lit back in the day. And I remember one night we ended up getting put in a section because my friend's sister knew Travis Porter. And which one? What was the big dark skin one? Was the one who was trying to talk to me? The big dark skin one. I can't remember his name, but he was a tall dark skin one, googly eyes. Him. So it'd be like little stuff like that, like little random stuff, or yeah, Travis Porter was the shit. Or I dated a producer. Now he wasn't really big. Like he ain't a fucking what you call it? Metro Boomin. He wasn't no damn Metro booming, but he knew certain people in the industry. He wasn't a really big producer. But he like, for example, Young Jock and them used his studios, or back when Lil Wayne had, was doing mixtapes and doing little side projects, he'll send Lil Wayne a couple tracks for his side project, and, little stuff like that. And even then, like, you couldn't tell me I shouldn't have been on fucking Love and Hip Hop. I thought I was that girl. I was literally like, 19, 20? And he used to give me money to come and see him, wire me a couple $100. This is before Cash App. So he was sending to like, Western Union or whatever. Like, I just sent you, a couple $100 because women are investments. You just could not tell me I was not a city girl. You couldn't have told me I wasn't going to be an Ari Fletcher, a Black China. I was like, oh, he bought me some shoes. Whole time he was probably like, this bitch is so fucking basic. Because I was just young, dumb, and full of cum and just didn't know nothing from nothing. But you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be famous. He tried to, impress me and my friend and bring us to the yo, bring them to the yo. Let them, we smoking and drinking and I'm doing my bad bitch 1, 2. Yeah. But that shit was a bust. It only lasted for so long, child. That's the thing. Demi, I feel like we did other shit. Like, I remember he ate my pussy before. And I definitely sucked his dick before. For some reason, if we did fuck, I don't remember it. So maybe it was bad. Like, we did little stuff, but I don't remember us. Maybe it just wasn't that long. Maybe we just wasn't fucking with each other that long. I don't know. But I know we ended up, we stopped talking because I got caught up. So I kind of fucked that situation up. Actually, not if I'm being honest. Because I got caught up because I was fucking with my baby daddy. Oh my God. I love my daughter, but I just wasn't making smart decisions. Because this nigga at least was doing something for me. And my baby daddy ain't have nothing to offer me but dick, stress, and troubles. And sperm. But I remember, that's what it was. It was Valentine's Day. I posted a picture of me and my baby daddy on Valentine's Day, laid up at his house. Like, you know how girls posting pictures of, what they got. This was like IG back in 2012, y'all. That's the shit that we did on Instagram back in the day when it first came out. Like, posting just random shit, posting what you got, posting this, posting that, posting a picture of me and my baby daddy, And I remember, I guess Marvin had some friends, some I don't know how, it was like the FBI. It's just, I woke up one day and this nigga sent me a whole bunch of pictures to my phone. He was like, who this nigga? And I was like, now I think about it, I'm a very sloppy cheater, but that was a long time ago though. I was very sloppy with it. And then my baby daddy ended up finding out about him. It was pandemonium. I was horrible. I was like, what? I couldn't even lie and say it wasn't me. I said, who the fuck is this nigga, bro? Like, I'm out here sending you money, doing this, doing that, doing this, and doing that. And you laid up with a nigga, bro? Like, so what is that about? Like who the fuck is he? I was just like, ugh. I miss my grandma. Look at my granny still. I miss my granny. I miss my granny. I just sometimes I have a big heart. I need somebody to help me not have a big heart. Help me. My heart's big. And I care about people all the time. I just guess that's the only crime I've committed. I just care so much. That's the only thing I got. You do that. You do. Oh my God, the gaslighting is real. And that's when my cancer South Node came into, that is like the cancer traits, and I ain't gonna lie, I had to outgrow. I would turn on the waterworks. Like, if I was back, I'm not the type of person who cries very easily. But if when I was younger, if I fell back into a corner, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Like, and usually, especially like with niggas, they be so caught off guard because that's not my personality. I don't take nothing seriously. That's just not what I give. I don't give, I'm a cry girl. I don't cry like that. But if a nigga if I calculated in my head, there's no other way to beat this nigga, I can't find no other way to be. I can't out argue him. Damn, he got a point. I can't fight this nigga. I can't beat his. If there's nothing I can do, if I can't manipulate him in any other way. Please. I just need somebody to love me. Do you see me? Do you love me? And then usually they be like, kind of caught off guard, like, why is this bitch crying like this in my face? Or you just might know I'm full of shit. But either way, I'm finna roll the dice. We're gonna see which one come out today. No, I didn't say me in that one. He was just like, fuck this bitch. Really. Fuck me up. He was an Aquarius though, so. And the crazy thing is my baby daddy was a Pisces, and I have Aquarius and Pisces in my 5th house. You know, the 5th house deals with children. So my theory is if I didn't get pregnant by my Pisces baby daddy, I would have got pregnant by the Aquarius. Then I almost fucked that situation up because after me and the Aquarius producer fell out, boom, because you know Aquarians could just detach, whatever. After me and him fell out, I almost fucked it up with my baby daddy because on one night I almost what happened? I called him the Aquarius's name while we was fucking. So I was like, ooh, let's say his name was not Martell. Let's say his name was Jacquees. I don't know. I was just like, ooh. And he was like, was that nigga that I checked you? Was that nigga that because he had already low-key checked me about him. And he was like, you called me that nigga name, bitch? I'm like, not both of my niggas. Not both of y'all. Because I didn't tell him that me and old boy, like, you know, he didn't know how me and old boy fell out. So it's just in my head. I'm like, I can't lose you too. Not you too, Steve. God damn. God taking all I got. Not my other nigga. You the last nigga left. Don't go. Don't leave me, please. I was down bad and I knew I was wrong. So that's a perfect situation where like I legitimately cried because I had nothing else to justify it. I cried. I think it kind of worked with him being a Pisces because you know Pisces, that's the thing. Aquarians ain't going for that shit. And Aquarians know how to tune your ass out. A Pisces, it's y'all fault because y'all are very empathic. Pisces is very empathic, very empathetic, very, you know, understanding. That's why they're so easily tricked and deceived, unless they got other shit going on in their chart. So yeah, bitch, I got the acting. That nigga Pisces, Sun, and Venus came into play. He was just like, it took him a while to get over it, but eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't go as hard on me when he saw me crying. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you know, Pisces also deal with just what you think is pathetic. So maybe he just thought I was pathetic with his Venus and Pisces. Like, oh, this bitch is sorry as hell. Like, you know, like he took pity on me. Cause I just was like, I'm sorry. But that nigga cheated on me the whole relationship. So he really did his biggest one. He did the biggest one. He did his biggest one. That nigga cheated on me the whole time. The whole time. I'm like, damn. Your Venus is in Pisces. Everything about be careful. That's how you get God. Anytime a motherfucker come along with a sad story and some tears, y'all get the. I bet he took you back. He drug, when I tell you he drugged me through the gates of hell, that nigga ended up fucking my friend. when I say he did his biggest one, and that nigga, I said, we can't beat these niggas. Not my friend. That's why he was so understanding. He said, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this bitch back. I'm gonna take her back, all right. That nigga, I was like, oh my God. And so we would do stuff to each other, but like I fucked his teammate. You know, he played football. I fucked his teammate afterwards, but it wasn't the same. You got my best bitch. I need to fuck your dad at this point. Like that's the only way I can get my get back. But I'm like, I fucked your teammate and you fucked my best friend. That don't even sound right. I need to do my big one. You can't blame. What you mean you can't blame him after that? Girl, go to hell. Whose side are you on for real? Right. I forgot you a Gemini, Ellis. So you be with that Geminis be with that shit all the time. Fucking somebody something. Right. I fucked this so-called friend from high school. Ooh. Well, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But my thing is just like, I just cannot believe that nigga did that shit to me. You know? And I low-key feel like that's what it is. I think what's sad, that's the difference between Sag women and men. I feel like with Sag women, we can be just as like, we can be hoes. I'm not gonna hold you. Okay. Especially with my Sag son could join the Mars and Scorpio. I can behave like a slut. Especially when I was younger. I get it. But even though it took me a while to like grow to a person where I'm like, dang, I want to be with that person or to settle into a relationship. Once I was in one, different story. I think with the Sagittarius men, they'll get in a relationship, but they'll realize later on that they bit off more than what they can chew. And, you know, they're going to fuck around on you on the back end. Even though they may have had good intentions, you know. With Sag women, I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like we get in trouble in the very beginning stages of the relationship. And to me, I feel like those don't count. The first few months, that's really what it is. Even when I think of my like other stuff, it'd be like the first few months, which to me is like, relax, not too much on me, babe. Like, we only 2 months in. Duh, I'm fucking other niggas. Like, I can. What you want me to just remove the niggas? Just I'ma send a mass message and be like, hey y'all. You know, as of today, thank you for gathering here today. As of today, Megan will no longer be like, no, you gotta give me some time to trail the niggas off piece by piece. Let me get my last little piece. Let me give him some head and tail real quick so he can get his last little fix to carry him over until I'm back on the market again. You know what I mean? Let me take I'm trying to trail it off in a way where if I gotta come back, I can come back. But I can't just do that abruptly, nigga. Like, why would I do that? That's crazy. And some bitches just be head over heels. Oh, I'm in a relationship. Like, no, baby, it's okay to be in a committed relationship, but don't completely lose your judge. Like, a nigga gonna have a judge. Make sure you get your judge. Yo, keep them on standby. You know what I'm saying? Niggas, you know, you could call when that nigga done lost his mind a little bit. Or if he forgot who the fuck he fucking with. You know, like, or just so you know, like, I don't have to me, I mean, you could also be alone. You know, having a nigga is not everything. But if you are just one of those people, it's just, to me, it just helps. Like, so you don't get lost in that relationship. I can never just deal with one nigga on no dry shit and not have nobody in the cut, or I'm not a red shirt or nothing. So yeah, I can't just cut niggas off like that, baby. Like, let's give each other a trial period, you know? And to be honest, I didn't hold nothing that he did in the very, very beginning against him for that same reason. Because I just assumed that he was on what I was on. Especially with him being an athlete, you know. He was a football player, for crying out loud. A very popular one at that, at the school. So I just assume that I just assumed he was doing the same thing. I got Aries in the 7th house, so I'm always attracting athletes, but also like men who are very selfish. So I feel like I got to get mine too. And he was, but it was just a problem when I did it. Y'all know how it go. Maybe that's my fear. It's boring. You a Sag too, right, Cinnamon? I don't like men like that. I feel sad that dicks are attached to them. Me too. I don't think they're good people. There are exceptions. So shout out to my male Astro fam. You know, no offense. No offense. Respectfully, niggas ain't shit. A lot of niggas. Most niggas. Y'all don't have good PR. So you already know what I'm talking about. As Sag women, we just, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I still had attachment issues in the past, but I noticed that like I just still need I just need a little something. Just a little something. Like I can deal with one person and not deal with other people, but I can't just completely cut off all my hoes from one person. Even if I'm not actively fucking with them. It's just maybe I'll just chill on you and not really talk to you that much. But if the situation doesn't work out, then yes, I got my old reliable niggas. Like, what do you mean? Of course you need variety, Gemini. I like dicks, but most men lack conversational skills and ethics. That's true. Come on, flavors. I did Jupiter through all the signs, money. Moni in the middle. You're a Taurus, but you're dealing with. Oh, you're a Taurus, but you're dealing with that. Oh, gotcha. My emotion getting attached at the wrong time. Lord, I like the attention, but don't be playing with me. I'm a Leo rising. Oh, you do like the attention. I selfish Sag with another Sag and left them both for the gym. What kind of terrorism? You just describing crimes and shit. What are you doing to people? You fucking monster. Oh, but you a girl. Okay, play on. You see how that was? You're a girl. It's excusable. Oh, I thought you was a nigga. I was finna persecute you to the fullest extent of the law. You should bring these niggas nothing but chaos and problems. So, play on, play on, play on, play on. Play on, play on. Do your big one, sis. Do your big one. Do your big one. Finish them off. I support women's rights and their wrongs. The weed hitting. It is a little bit. I think there's a lot. This might just be me 80%. The weed ain't hitting that bad. It's not that bad. It still you may be getting mostly me right now. Men deserve less than less. They do. So, with that being said, thank you guys for joining me. I will leave this live stream up. I love y'all. Take care. And I will catch y'all in the next live stream. Bye.